you saw on social media today, the Dream Team got back together for one 19-day. The founding member of the Gilbert Tiger broadcast crew, along with the other founding member, yours truly, Trent Becker, following the Raccoon River Conference matchup between visiting ADM Tigers and the home Gilbert Tigers. Tigers versus Tigers tonight, Tim.
Tiger action. Hey, well, we're going to do the Gilbert starting lineup. Well, I'll shut up for that.
Yeah. Jen Schormeyer, the public address announcer, voice of the Tigers.
Curtains and Hawthorne, typical starters for the Tigers.
And Cruz.
I'd like to give a shout out before the national anthem to the ADM coaches who started girls consecutive numbers.
Oh, it makes our job way easier.
It really does.
Special treat of the national anthem tonight, though. All woodwind instruments. And under the direction of Byron Tier to give us a national anthem. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing now with this new system.
We are getting a little bit of, looks like on the left we're getting pegging. So
yeah.
Keep us posted. Maybe we think we don't have audio, so we're going to be careful what we say, because those of you who know the past legal problems that Trent and I have had in this space, we're going to be very careful what we say. The Gilbert Tigers trail 7-4 after Hawthorne converted 2 free throws. We'd appreciate if you'd let us know. I know that looks like the Hawthorns are listening. If they
called
let us
Bowman
know if we're still off.
For the walk, the travel.
Uncharacteristic number of turnovers for Gilbert thus far. They're more adept at creating turnovers than committing turnovers.
Tigers with a little man-to-man press. They break the press now. The ball's going to go out of bounds off of Theorado's fingertips.
Now, Trent, I was a little unfamiliar with the it's working now. That's either good news or horrible news. The new broadcast situation, they have the scoreboard there. I was trying to call out the score regularly, but look at that.
I know.
Of course, Jim Cornstrom will not be able to read that. I mean, he'd have to get right up next to the TV.
Telescope.
To read that.
Recliner. Yeah. All right, I try to learn the ADM players' names, and I'll do that. If you're listening from ADM, I apologize. It takes me about a quarter or so to learn those, and we'll get to them. Really snazzy-looking black uniforms, I can tell you that much.
Very nice-looking. However, for older announcers, the numbers are only outlined.
Yeah.
And so it creates a little challenge for fellows like Trent and I.
Tigers get the turnover. They wore the same uniforms in the JV game that I officiated before I came up to broadcast, and I did have a hard time a couple times picking out the numbers. Hawthorne will drive, kick it out in the corner to Kearns. Kearns with a screen from Rado. Rado's got it. Now out to Bowman. She's going to put it on the floor. Thought about pulling the 3. She's going to work one-on-one. Puts it up off the glass. Holy smokes. She worked hard on that one. Gets it to go. Tigers now just down by 1. Scratch back into this thing.
Trent, that shot reminded me a little bit of something Mason Bowman might have tried.
3 up off the iron. No good. That was A.J. Smith. Kearns will corral the loose ball and push back the other way.
I don't think it's been the smoothest first quarter for Gilbert, but they have stayed after it, haven't they, Trent? They continue to play hard. They continue to take good shots, and they continue to fight for rebounds.
Bowman with the long 3, no good. Rebound by Rado. She's going to give it to Kearns in the lane. She'll go up and get fouled and go to the free throw line to try to peg a couple of points.
Really nice play by Theorato there to run down a rebound and quickly flip it in for an easy try for Kearns before she was fouled.
Kearns swishes in the free throw.
Hey, one of the things when things aren't going great, making your free throws, and Gilbert has started doing that. And here they are, tied 7-7.
Ellie Bowman will check in for Rado, give her a spell. It looks like Sydney Lynch is going to check in for Kearns, who was shooting the free throw and makes the second free throw. Tigers get the lead now, 8-7, 2:44 to play first quarter. Full court press now put on. Sydney Lynch, number 4, played a lot in the JV game. She's a very active player, lightning fast, good hands. ADM will kick it around the perimeter. Cameron Smith's in there. We got a whistle, and we're going to have a moving screen, offensive foul, something away from the ball.
It was exactly that, kind of trying to create space for an offensive player. A little bit of a push there on
Can't push, Tim.
A.J. Smith.
Can't push. Kind of a rare thing with talk officiating when we get a break here. Rare thing last night that I called 4 times in one game that I had not called ever in my brief officiating career. Ball in the paint now. Nessa Johnson's got on the block, fought for and taken away by ADM.
Did the ball go up through the rim 4 times in one game, Trent? Did you have to make that call 4 times?
No.
That'd be unusual.
No, I had a defender grab as he goes by him, just grab his jersey and hold on, like stretching his jersey out. Called it 4 times in one night.
Well, I think within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, you can do that, can't you?
Shot up and fouled by the Tigers. That'll be Grace Hardcastle. It's going to be on. They called that on Ellie Bowman.
Hardcastle is the second leading scorer for ADM. She averages just about 9 a game. She's a senior, and I can see why. She's an extremely active player.
Mm-hmm.
Very good ball handler.
First free throw, no good. Second one, momentarily.
Is Sydney Lynch the daughter of Rob?
Yes,
Lynch?
It is. It is Rob's.
She's
Rob's sitting right down here.
Remarkably athletic.
Up to the glass is Bowman on the kind of delayed break. They're going to call a tie. ADM's going to call a timeout. That is, I don't know if you know Sarah Lammers, who teaches over at the intermediate school. That is her niece, Rob, and her brother sister.
Yep.
I think Sarah was quite a player back in her day. I don't know about Rob.
Rob is a very, very gifted athlete. Not as good as his wife, frankly, but a very gifted athlete. The Gilbert Tigers started this thing down 7-2, and now it is 10-7. So if I use the mathematics that Benji Deal taught me back in the day, that's an 8-0 run for our Gilbert Tigers. And really, they just did a good job of early in that game. Things kind of just weren't clicking just right. They were in the right places. They were getting good shots. Shots weren't going in. They just stayed after it, and things kind of came to them. They didn't panic and kept doing the things that Coach Frisk has drilled into them mercilessly day after day.
Tigers well coached. Good combination of talent, good coaching.
And handsome coaches as well.
Mike Cruz, for being 87 years old, very handsome.
That's going to be one of my comments. He certainly is.
Well, I like having him as a coworker because as long as he's there, I'll never be the old man in the building. Mike Cruz, he's not 87, but he's got a couple years on me, a few more gray hair.
Let's just
we were joking about it.
He's going to get the COVID shot before you are. Let's just say that.
Mike was named the middle school football coach of the year, a very deserved honor for Mike. I've refereed a lot of his games, and the Gilbert team's traditionally very well prepared, very well coached, execute very well. Don't win all of our games, but generally competitive, and so we kind of joke around about it. Nice job, Mike Cruz.
Gilbert starts in a full court press again, and a quick foul there on Nessa Johnson.
She was going for the ball and kind of got her arm tangled up with. I sometimes have trouble reading the numbers. I think that's Nicole Stork because of the ponytail length.
But again, I think Coach Frisk is asking the girls to play aggressively on defense and is not going to be overly bothered by a foul here or there. That's one of the things that comes with this kind of defense.
Tigers providing man-to-man. Call a legal screen, I believe, on the ADM. It's going to be on 12. Olivia Tolari. I did not see it. I was kind of looking, following the ball.
Tolari.
My friend had a Volare when I was in college. That's probably all I should talk about that car. A lot of stories that I can't mention on there.
Did it have rich Corinthian leather in the seat?
It was poor Corinthian leather by the time we got done with it. Yep. Backdoor lob now to Johnson.
Very
off
nice
the glass.
Pass there.
Nessa went high off the glass and no good. Then she reaches in. They're going to call a jump ball. Nessa gets the tie up.
That's another good example of the way Gilbert's fought. I mean, that's a shot that Nessa expects to make. Didn't make it. Didn't give up, though. Stayed in the fight and got a jump ball at least.
Emma Cruz is going to check in for Emma Bowman. So if you've listened to any of the broadcasts, traditionally I call Emma Bowman her older sister Addie. I don't know. I never call Ellie Addie. I always call Emma Addie.
Okay.
So that was my goal tonight, was to not call Emma Addie one time. If you're going to get called somebody's name, Addie Bowman, delightful gal.
Be fine.
She might be listening in. Tigers defending viciously, and they're going to get called for another foul here. So pretty active ninth foul here in the first quarter. That's, I believe, going to be the fifth on the Tigers.
Nice job. Sydney tried to jump in front of that and kind of jump where the dribbler was going and called for a foul, getting there just a little late. There's a nice defensive play again. I don't see Coach Frisk upset about the aggressiveness of the defense at all.
Down in the corner now, lob back in, up in traffic. That's going to be a foul. As Claire Greenslade went up for the shot, Nessa Johnson hacked her. So the 10th foul here in the first quarter.
ADM has just been kind of stalled out on offense and it's taken a 7-2 lead, and this will get a chance to get them off that schneid.
Greenslade will make the first free throw. Now Rado will check in for Nessa Johnson. Nessa Johnson goes to the sidelines and chugs a quart of V8, as she often does, in between line ball substitution. Ball's on the floor. Tigers are going to come out of with it.
Tigers come up with a lot of loose balls, Trent. They get more than their share of the 50-50 balls.
Theorado gives it to Hawthorne. She's going to go coast to coast. Did a great job in traffic getting that shot up off the glass.
Really nice move by Ava there. Probably the move of the night thus far.
Tolari goes the distance, misses the free throw. Ellie Bowman with the rebound. Hawthorne's got it now. Cruz left wide open from three, and she will fire a 100-foot arcing shot into the basket. Cruz gets good loft on those threes, Tim. That one goes in. And she's going to get a steal. Gives it to Hawthorne. It's going to get knocked, I think, out of bounds off of ADM.
Nice little run there for Cruz, with making a three, making a steal, making a nice pass.
Greenslade knocked that one out of bounds. Tigers will have the ball under the basket.
I don't think Mike Cruz taught Emma Cruz to pass up an open three-pointer. Trent.
Down in the corner, Hawthorne will have a three. Hits the front of the iron, no good. Going to be pulled down by Tess Bourne. I believe that's Tess, number 3 or 5. That's actually 5. Hardcastle. Looked like a 3. It's really hard to see the numbers. They're beautiful uniforms. Love the uniforms with the stripes on the thighs and underneath the armpits. Kind of like tiger stripes.
Tigery.
Tigers with good defense again. Almost caught another turnover. Now comes Tolariet. It's going to get blocked, and they're going to call Rado for the foul.
Rado's going to have a couple fouls now. They might ask her to take a rest so as to not pick up her third. That would be her second, I believe.
So as I mentioned, Tim, the Tigers won the game in early November. That was like I think it was the first Raccoon River Conference game that the Tigers ever played in. They defeated ADM 50-23. I wasn't at that game. I don't know. Sometimes scores can be deceiving. That looks like a blowout. But this ADM team is super scrappy and playing tough. And
they know what they're doing. They've got a plan on offense. That's for sure. Gilbert's aggressive defense has made it a little difficult, but they have a plan on offense. And now Thea is indeed going to come out in favor of Emma Bowman with 2 fouls.
So Bowman, Hawthorne, Cruz, Ellie Bowman, and Sydney Lynch on the floor for the Tigers. Second free throw up and good. 6-point lead now for the Tigers as we get closing seconds here of the first quarter. Just 6-5 ticks. Tigers will get one shot here. Bowman will step back and fire the 3. This is iron, no good. Tigers are fortunate that Emma Cruz was not called for a foul as that quarter concluded. The Tigers will have a 15-9 lead. Not the prettiest quarter basketball that you and I've seen a lot of basketball in this. We've done games in this gym, haven't we? I know it's been a while. Right. How long has it been since you and I broadcast any sort of athletic event together?
Oh, I think, let's see, the court case was
So people that are just listening, they're not going to know that we're
Yeah, we didn't really. There were never any charges brought in any former broadcast, the past broadcast. Trent and I started doing these broadcasts. Wow, Trent, what would you say? 2000 and
it was 2000 and no, it was after that. So let me think here. I got to do the math backwards. So 2010, I think, was our first year. It was really? Jordan Knox sophomore year, because remember the first game we ever did, Jordan Knox, long touchdown pass to Luke Kearns in the corner of the end zone against Roland Story to upset. I don't know, we beat Roland Story in a few years and knocked him off. So that was Jordan's sophomore year, which would have been 2010. 10-11 was his sophomore year. So I always have to kind of go back, use the Jordan Knock factor, the 3 degrees of Jordan Knock, and figure it out. So 2010, so we've been doing this. So Tigers broadcast.
Well, I do not think that was our first year. I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay.
I'm going to disagree with you.
You don't think that was our first? That was our first broadcast we ever did.
Was it?
Roland Story.
Well, what do I know?
Or maybe it was baseball that summer at Baxter when the computer melted down because of the heat in the press box.
That's right. And then I've either had a stroke or Steve Hastek is still here in the gym.
Yeah. That's Steve Hastek.
It
looks like Ben
maybe
Franklin
he hasn't left the gym since we started doing
He's retired now.
15-9, the Gilbert Tigers lead the ADM Tigers.
We thought it was the ghost of Ben Franklin, but it turns out now to the post is Bowman. She's going to put up off the glass, no good. Rebound by Rado, and she's going to go to the charity stripe for a couple of free throws.
During the quarter, we were going to play a game of Name This Tiger, where I would give a clue.
Yeah.
And then you would have to guess who the tiger is. But I just got busy doing it, so we're not going to do that.
And Rado makes the first free throw. We're also going to do maybe some Tiger King, but neither one of us have ever seen Tiger King, so we can't do that. And it turns out probably good. Probably time not wasted on the Tiger King.
I don't think so.
Supposedly Joe Exotic is one of the guy who's the lead guy in there. One of the guys Trump is considering pardoning tonight. Is he's going to do 100? Somebody said 100 pardons tonight. Hopefully you and I are on that list.
Yeah, I was going to say.
With our legal battles.
That'd be great.
Interior feed now. ADM goes in. It's going to be blocked by Rado.
Nice job by Rado there. He's sitting on 2 fouls and chose not to just not play defense, but play defense conservatively in such a way that interfered with the shot without picking up a foul.
Stork throws it out of bounds and goes back. And Tigers will get the ball now. Bowman gives to Hawthorne. Hawthorne looking interior. Cruz will fire the rainbow 3 again. High off the iron, no good. It's kind of in a scrum. The ADM's going to come out with it. Rado was competing for that rebound, couldn't get that one. She'll get a few tonight. Not the leading rebounder. Actually, I think Emma Bowman is the Tigers' leading rebounder, if I'm not mistaken, Tim. And I could be mistaken. I quite often am.
No, you're correct, Trent. It's Emma Bowman at 6.8. Thea's 5.8 rebounds a game. They're both very good rebounders. Neva, the third rebounder, at 5.3. But actually what strikes you when you look at the rebounding statistics is that all of the Gilbert Tiger girls rebound.
Nessa Johnson will get a lot of garbage rebounds. Interior feed to Stork, now back out.
It's Greenslade. She gets caught in traffic, almost throws it away. Tigers defense has really been hawking here in the first half, covering, smothering defense.
There was a shot clock. This would be probably a shot clock violation. The defense has been intense for a long time, but as we all know, that's not the case in Iowa high school basketball.
Hardcastle goes in.
Kind of a big deal earlier this year, Trent, when there was one game that took forever and nobody
Madrid
scored.
and Des Moines Christian, I believe, were the two competitors in there. Cruz gives it to Kearns. Kearns just couldn't get her mitts around the ball. Goes out of bounds and go back to ADM. ADM, of course, stands for Adele de Soto and
Minburn.
Minburn, kind of like the Farrar of, kind of the forgotten town. A lot of people don't know much about Farrar, know a lot about Bondurant.
Well, Rado just made a really good defensive play, but the ball rattled into the hands of Nicole Stork, and Nicole Stork put it in for two. But again, Thea with good defensive presence.
Bowman will dribble right off the ball screen by Hawthorne. Tigers up by 5.
Double screen up top for Ava, and she's going to get a 3 out of it.
That was bound to go in at some point, and it does there. Hawthorne, I think, gets her first bucket of the game. I was looking over at the score. Actually, she's got more points than that. She's had a couple of free throws in this. That's her 7th point, but first 3
she had a layup and a couple of free throws.
Yes. ADM breaks the press now. You get a 3 in the corner there by A.J. Smith, and it's good.
And that's the danger that you put yourself in running that press, giving up some threes in transition, and indeed A.J. Smith put that up quickly and knocked it down.
Hawthorne working the point. Way away from the basket now. She's going to give it to Bowman and rotate through. Rado now is going to feed in the post. Hawthorne with her back to the basket. Now in the corner to Kearns. She'll get a 3. Oh, off the iron, no good. It's going to get tipped around. Kearns is going to come out with it. Tips it to Rado. Oh, Cruz had spotted Hawthorne open, but just a split second late getting it to her, and it gets intercepted by ADM.
Look at Thea Rado kept that ball alive on the offensive side. She's been very active tonight.
Looks like Lynch and Johnson will check back in at the next dead ball for the Gilbert Tigers. Talari with the ball now, looking to feed it interior. He gets tipped out there by Hawthorne. She's going to get the steal and get it out to Bowman. She's going to run one out. Goes up with the left hand in traffic and good.
Wonderful shot by Bowman there.
Emma Bowman headed to Truman State next year, Tim, to play. Used to be, I think, Northeast Missouri State. It's called Truman State now. Hawthorne tips it, almost had the steal. Goes back to ADM. They're going to push quickly 3-on-1 with Rado back. Rado did the best she could, but they're going to get a basket, and that's going to lead to a 30-second timeout by head coach Jacob Cleveland for the ADM Tigers. 21-16 has been an exciting first half.
Yeah.
A lot of
really
activity, a lot of missed shots, but also a lot of good defense. And
Gilbert has played better after those first 4 minutes. Again, as we kind of described, I think things didn't come to him very easily in the first 4 minutes, and they scrapped after it and then jumped out to a lead. They've actually started to play better now, but so has ADM. So this has been a very tightly contested game and a very well-played game by both teams.
Yep. Tigers ranked, I believe, 3rd in the state. They sit in the Raccoon River Conference standings behind the Ballard Bombers, who are really, really good. Tigers are also really, really good. It might just be a case of how many relays you want to put in front of good. They're both really good teams. They're going to play each other here in a couple weeks down at the Ballard Gym in Huxley. Ballard handed the Tigers their only defeat of the season. And that was right before Christmas, maybe the Tuesday night before Christmas. In a really low-scoring game, I want to say like 39-33, something like that. So Tigers will get a rematch with the Bombers. Clearly the 2 best teams, including Bondurant, too, probably the 3 best teams, 2 or 3 best teams in the conference. Lynch has got it now. She'll give it to Johnson down on the block. She's going to go up the left hand.
Nice shot.
Super good touch. Nessa Johnson, very good with the left hand in traffic, and puts that one up.
When they do it right, it looks kind of easy, and Nessa made that look easy, didn't she, Trent?
She just has a good touch around the basket. I know you haven't seen this group play a ton, but she is really good in that position right there. Now Hardcastle will go up off the iron, no good.
Good. Great defense by Nessa, and she's there to collect the rebound.
She's going to go play volleyball at Missouri Western, I believe, is her destination. Lynch has got in the corner, gives it to Johnson again on the block. She's going to spin. Has her shot blocked. That was just a good block there by a little scrap between Johnson and Hardcastle after the play. I think they just got kind of tied up. I see Hardcastle offer a little pat on the back and kind of an olive branch
And then the weird part was Nessa punched her in the stomach. No, she didn't, of course. I'm kidding.
Talari's going to go into traffic. It's blocked. Ball's on the ground. Who's got it? Tigers going to come out of it. Somebody, of course the Tigers are going to come out of it. The ADM Tigers. Now Hardcastle with the long three. Misses the iron off the backboard. Corrals having kind of a chaotic, hectic.
Frantic.
Frantic. That was the word I was looking for. Bowman shot up, no good. Unfortunately, Johnson would have had it, but she ran out of real estate underneath the basket and is out of bounds with the ball in her hands, which turns the ball back over to ADM. Ellie Bowman will check in for Kearns.
Really impressed with how hard Gilbert has played.
Yep.
They really attended the defensive boards very well. There was a little scrap down there, but there were 3 Tigers in there blocking out and trying to collect the rebounds. They played very well tonight.
Tigers up by 7, 23-16, 2.5 minutes to play in the first half. This is Stork. She's been pretty quiet tonight. I think she's one of their 2 leading scorers. We have not called her number much at all. She got 5 points, but been pretty quiet. Dribbling the lane in traffic now. Tigers about to get a steal. Hawthorne and Ellie Bowman on the double team. Stork's going to go left hand in traffic, and they're going to call, I think Nessa Johnson's going to get her second personal, I believe. Way away from the basket. Now they're going to call Hawthorne on that one.
Yeah, I think Hawthorne kind of reached in. And
they were both in the vicinity, in the area, and that's going to be
just Ava's
the 1-and-1.
Just her first foul. Tigers had had 7 fouls. That was a 1-and-1, and the Tigers kind of slept through it there. Gilbert kind of slept through it. Now it's going to be a 2-shot foul.
Yeah, I wasn't very good in describing that because I wasn't sure what was going on, but it was a 1-and-1. The shooter, Stork, was the only one that remembered that. Mike Frisk going to call a timeout. Tigers kind of gotten a little late first half funk, and that's how you do that. He's going to make some wholesale substitutions, Tim. I think you probably know the reasoning behind that. We'll leave it there. We'll call out the cheerleaders. They've done a nice job tonight. I don't know. This isn't all of them, and I could probably get close on which kids these are, but with the masks on, I'm just going to call them all. Eden Bruner, Drianna Driggers, Sydney Hansen, Katie Koenig, Sierra Lizer-Webb, Ashley McConville, Julia Bentz, Gabby Lampianen, Claire Lewis, Jessica Stoker, Olivia Schulka, Carly Dolan, Sophie Hyde, Alicia Smith, Isabel Platts, Mariah Pena, Kiska Deering. Hard to believe Olivia Schulka. We had her when she was in Sunday school at church, second grade, and now she's a high school cheerleader.
Really old,
it does.
Doesn't it?
It should, Tim.
Yeah.
It really should. It means you and I are a little long in the tooth.
Remember coloring pictures of Zacchaeus with her
the wee little man.
And whatnot.
Olivia Schulka, just a delightful girl. I was refereeing the night and the ball came out and she knocked it to me and giggled and waved at me right in the middle of the game. Yeah. So I'm going to guess the Tigers are not going to lose track of what's going on here.
Nope. Now it's going to be 2 because on the missed 1-and-1 where the Gilbert kids kind of got disconnected there. She ran in and got the rebound and was fouled shooting.
So Stork swishes in the first free throw. Now the ADM Tigers will populate the free throw lane with players. They didn't have anybody up on the lane. Second free throw is good too. So Stork makes the most of that little trip to the free throw line. She's going to get 2 points. Abby Toronis with the ball now. Her dad, BJ Toronis. Jonna Rado up off the glass, no good. That's another Rado. That's the last Rado, Jonna, that made that shot. Now down in the corner is Rado. Rado's going to put the ball on the floor and dribble. This is Hillman with the ball. She's going to give it back to Cruz. This is the JV starting
Skylar
5.
Hillman. Hold on, that's Skylar Hillman.
It is Skylar Hillman. She's a fantastic ball player. Her mom just sitting down the row from us here in the back row. Abby Toronis lobs down under the basket to Jonna Rado. It goes out of her hands. As I mentioned, the last Rado coming through here, Jonna Rado. And that's too bad. If we want a world, what we need more of is Rado kids. I tried to get Marion Hans to adopt some kids.
Yep.
My kids were on the table, but it didn't work out.
Yep.
Mary's pitched a good shift, raised some delightful girls.
Rados are salt of the earth.
Hillman gets the steal now. Talari fouls her. Tried to get it to Toronis, but stolen away there by Stork.
Nice steal by Skylar, and then she kind of gave it back, but a great defensive effort.
A minute to play here in the first half. We'll see how long Coach Frisk goes with his JV squad. A good JV squad. This is a very good JV squad. Won a lot of games. Stork now Working underneath on Rado. Hillman's going to foul her. She's going to go to the free throw line. There was players flopping on the floor.
Well, I didn't see what happened, but what I did see is I looked up, and one of the ADM Tigers was on the ground, standing next to Skylar Hillman. And knowing what I know about the genes that she has inherited from her father, the first suspicion I would have is that somehow she was responsible for that.
And it
I
turns
don't know
out
if she was.
She was. They called a foul on her. Her first foul, the first free throw by Stork, is up and good. Hardcastle will check out. Go to the bench here, probably for the remainder of the first half. So Stork makes another free throw. She's got 4 here just the last few seconds. And Tigers lead just down to 3, and that ball is going to be knocked away and pulled in by Johnson. They're going to call Johnson. They're going to call a foul. I thought they were going to call her for walking with the ball.
Yeah, it had to be one or the other, and I think foul's the right call from the angle I had here.
Ava Johnson, I didn't mention her name. She played extensive minutes in the junior varsity contest that I arbitrated earlier.
Yeah, the Gilbert team's hit a little skid here, but the junior varsity is certainly not, or we're calling them the junior varsity. Obviously, these are varsity girls, and they deserve to be here. The girls who played a lot of minutes in the junior varsity game that are in now have, frankly, held the fort down.
Yep.
They've held the fort very well.
John Arado's going to get a chance to go to the free throw line. They're going to call Nicole Stork for a foul as she was trying to front Rado. Rado, the tall, lanky player, swishes in the first free throw.
A lot of arc on that Rado free throw.
You should see her launch a 3. She gets it up in the rafters, kind of like Emma Cruz. It's the high arcing 3. Rado, they don't have the heights in here, but I'm going to guess she's 6'1". She's taller than me.
6'11", but somewhere in there.
Second free throw rims out, no good. Talari will pull it down in transition now. The ADM Tigers will push quickly. Ava Johnson's going to get a free throw and then has it nick off her knee and go out of bounds. So good defense by Johnson. Just couldn't get her mitts on the loose ball.
Nice steal. And
Stork up with the right hand.
Stork's a tough matchup for anybody.
I kind of said she was pretty quiet, and then she kind of caught fire, so I'll take the...
That's 11 for Stork, and Nicole averages.
She scored the last 6 points, I believe. Talari's going to get a steal. She's going to go up in transition and put it in.
We got a tie game right now.
Tie game. They try to get inbounds to Hillman. Talari steps out of bounds. The Tigers will get it back.
ADM coming at Gilbert with a little of their own medicine here, the full court press.
I think Jacob Cleveland probably recognized
fighting
the
fire,
substitutions. Yeah.
Fighting fire with fire, as they say, Trent.
I've actually seen some firemen show up at a fire scene. I've never seen them fire.
Hey, I know what would put out this fire. Some more fire. Well, they actually do that, I think, in a forest fire.
Randy
Cruz.
Cruz.
Light a fire ahead of the fire.
Cruz inbounds it to Johnson. It's going to be kicked out of bounds there by Julia Case in off the bench. Johnson was kind of getting mugged right in front of the Tiger bench. Hillman's got it now. 8 seconds to go. Tigers got to get a shot off here. 5, 4. Hillman's going to go in traffic. It's knocked away by ADM. And that's how the half's going to end. Tie ball game. I can't remember what the score was. There was about 2 minutes to go in the first half when Mike Frisk emptied his bench and went to the reserves.
Yeah, Trent, I wouldn't say it was the prettiest half of basketball this Gilbert team has ever played. But on the other hand, here they sit 24-24, have not played their best, but have never, Trent, has any of the deficiency been in the area of effort. The girls have played very, very hard. They've been where they're supposed to be. A few things kind of haven't happened for them that often do, but nothing to hang their head about. Now, that's not to say Coach Frisk might not have a word or two, some things he'd like to see different in the second half, but I think Gilbert has kind of played their game. They've been aggressive, full court press, shot the open shots that they've created for themselves with ball movement and personnel movement, and they'll hope to be more successful in the second half.
Yep. So Tigers head to the locker room tied 24-24. We don't really have a lot of halftime material.
No.
Often we would pod the mics down and go to the men's room.
Mm-hmm.
We could do that. There's really nothing stopping us from doing that. I'm good.
Well, I think there's some things to talk about. I think we can talk about. I did start to
hold on. I get really nervous when you say that. Go ahead and tell me what you're going to talk about.
Well, so talk about some famous ADM people.
Uh-huh.
I mean, who would be the most famous ADM graduate? Well, I say let's open it up to our 3 listeners. and see if
Actually, it's 82.
any of our 3
82 listeners.
Well, and they're Googling it. I mean,
Yeah.
well, Cornstrom's right. He doesn't know how to Google. I don't know why they picked Jim Cornstrom as the
Poor Jim.
as the whipping horse tonight.
Jeff Bowman's listening.
Jeff Bowman.
Both his daughters are playing here.
Yeah, they know how.
Addie
he
Bowman
knows
not
how
playing.
to
I have not mentioned Addie. I have not called Emma Addie once tonight. By the way, okay. I don't know that I could say. Bill Bruce. He's the only guy I know that graduated from ADM.
I believe, and there's a possibility I'm wrong about this, but a very famous person in the state of Iowa.
I know who it is.
Okay.
Heisman Trophy winner.
A Heisman Trophy winner in 1939.
Niall Kinnick.
I believe Niall Kinnick is an ADM graduate.
I believe you are right.
Or whatever form that school took at that time. An Adel graduate.
It might have been back when it was Adele and DeSoto and Minburn all had their own high school. That's kind of how it used to go.
That's right. And they didn't talk to each other, I'm sure.
They're probably rivals. They were that close together. You think they probably kind of like
you couldn't
Roman
stop
Story
and,
Gilbert.
Couldn't stop and get a soda in Minburn if you were from Adel. You might get roughed up by
Get
some
shanked.
kids who were smoking cigarettes out in front of the quick shop.
The T-shirts rolled up, the tattoos showing and whatnot.
Now, also, you're probably aware that on a 250-acre farm in the Adel region, in the Adel area, with an Adel address, the wealthiest man in the state of Iowa began his business and still resides there. Harry Stein. No Stein seeds. You're not familiar with Harry Stein?
I don't know. I'm not much in the seed business. I'll be honest with you.
I think he's the only richest man in the state of Iowa, and I believe the only billionaire in the state of Iowa. I mean, and that's, I can't, what kind of week did you have in the stock market, I guess, before I say the only billionaire? Probably.
That's been average.
Okay,
I would say
so
it's average.
Probably still then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One group of people that I sometimes I forget, and I usually just poke fun of them, but the Stacys over there at the scores table, Stacy Johnson and Stacy Sneezik kind of filling in. We know our friend Jamie Lenz, your neighbor, our buddy Jamie Lenz, has been down a little under the weather, so Stacy Sneezik has filled in over there at the scores table with Stacy Johnson. Also Chris Lawrence helping out on the scoreboard tonight. Chris Lawrence, one of my favorite Lawrences.
Very, by far, my favorite Lawrence. It's
lots of Lawrences that I like. She's one of them.
Good to see Brent Hennington out on parole for a while, so he's free to go about it. I think he has an ankle bracelet on, but there he is anyway.
What time is it in front? Jeff Bowman's from Singapore. I think Jeff Bowman does win the long distance war. He's in Singapore. Anybody know what time it is in Singapore? Jeff, could you tell us what time is there in Singapore? I'm going to guess. Let's guess.
What time is it? Okay, no.
PM.
Okay, just a second. Hold on. It's 6:30. Singapore is going to be not 12 hours. It's going to be probably 11. I'm going to say 5 a.m.
I was going to say 6. I was going to say 12 hours, but I don't know. So I'll say 6:39. You say 5:39. Jeff Bowman will get back to us on that.
It takes a long time.
Dan and Gail Hawthorne. That's really good. Like sometimes the comments we have to shut people off, Tim. This is kind of a new thing on the Tiger broadcast. People get a little
testy, as it were, angry.
Lori Drzymski seems to be at the center of all that. She seems to get in snowball fights on the.
There we go.
But we're a good crowd, and Pat Starr and I did a game a couple weeks ago, and we're trying to keep it positive. There's enough negativity in the world. We want it to be positive. Put your phone down, get off social media, listen to the Tigers. Awesome kids. ADM brought in a very nice squad of girls up here to play us, and these Mega Nights. You got JV girls here, followed by varsity girls, followed by varsity boys. At the other gym, you've got JV boys, followed by freshman girls, then freshman boys. So 6 games from between the two schools, and they play at the middle school. You can tune into those. They've got the huddle camera like we do here over in that gym too. And then middle school tonight's playing over in the old high school gym, the intermediate school, and there's both gyms going there. So Pizzetti sent a big email out today, try to keep all this strate, and I said, why would anybody get mixed up? There's 11 games on 4 different gyms. So Tim Pizzetti, one of the hardest working men I know. Good dude, sitting over at the scores table, firing up some music for us. So we do thank them. The Gilbert School District's going to get a new superintendent.
Right.
I read some stuff today about they've got it down to 7. They've got the list 26 applicants total. Did you know this? I don't know if you saw this email. Did it go to you?
I did. I'm actually going to be involved in the process.
So am I. I didn't know that. We just breaking news on the air. Both. I'm doing it from a staff member perspective since I'm employed by the Gilbert Community School District. At least my services were offered by my boss. They may have said no. Yeah.
Well, I'm being brought in because I've had 3 kids go through the Gilbert system, and all 3 of them have been expelled at different times.
So they kind of want to know the perspective of a parent with
the disciplinary systems at the school and whatnot.
If you know Tim's children, you would know that it was preposterous that Nicholas Day would ever get in any kind of. He never even had a mean thought towards another human.
And Yeah, not to be dumb about it, but I mean, you said put down your phones and whatnot. Yeah, do that. What do you want to do? Go argue about something, somebody you don't know on the internet, or do you want to watch young people develop?
Yeah.
I say let's pick this. Man.
Yeah.
Let's just forget that other stuff.
Tigers girl team very highly ranked and very accomplished. They've, like we were saying, there's really never been a senior class like this that's won as much. Mega Night sounds like it ought to be a professional wrestling event. I thought the same thing. Mark Motz, that's a great compliment. I said, Mega Night, it almost sounds like it should be like maybe there should be some tractor poles in the gym or a pro wrestling ring. He said pro wrestling. I totally agree with you. 8:40 Wednesday morning, Jeff Bowman says. It's 8:40 over in Singapore.
We're in the right neighborhood.
Jeff having a cup of Sanka and probably dunking a donut in it.
Probably Postum. I think he's having Postum, which is it's a coffee-like drink made of wheat or something.
Ugh.
I don't know.
I'm going to say
Postum.
no.
I don't know. Sanka or Postum. And Gilbert Tigers are back out, and they don't look any worse for the wear.
Maybe this rim will be a little friendlier to them. I do feel like I had a lot of shots real close to the iron, didn't go in the first half. Tigers,
they really did.
Typically, once they kind of get rolling, they can shoot it, and we'll look for that here in the second half.
Yep, I think the key is that, and I don't know what the key is. What do I know about basketball? But keep doing the things that you're successful with, and don't let a substandard quarter kind of get in your head too much and start doing things you're not familiar with and things that haven't won games for you. Let the game kind of come to you. And one of the things I'm really impressed with the girls thus far is they haven't panicked. They've kept doing the right things and they've kept playing hard. And the old cliche that defense can kind of lead to good offense. Work it out on the defensive end. I think the Gilbert team has done exactly that tonight. They've continued to play hard on defense and see if good things can happen. I see one of the officials has a really lovely head of silver hair, and I think I saw Coach Cruz and he talking about hair products in the
kind of checking each other's.
Yeah, hey, nice. How do you do that? Is it the Brill cream or what do you got going on?
I kind of rewind it, and not to knock the scab off of this, but at the 2-minute mark, there was a free throw. It was 1-1. The ADM Tigers had basically surrendered any kind of rebound. They had all of their other 4 players besides the free throw shooter. Stork was on the line. And the Tigers kind of took a nap on that one, and Stork, the only ADM Tiger on the free throw lane, got the rebound, put it up and was fouled, and I think Coach Frisk did what he had to do to kind of get the Tigers' attention. I really look for them to get it rolling downhill here in the second half. They will see who they send back out. We don't know yet who that will be. The Tigers, he's got some helpers over there. Mike Cruz, as we mentioned his name, Jeff Gillette, Aaron Hill, Jeff Egan, a good friend of ours, Jeff Egan.
Speaking of naps, Jeff Egan is over there.
Had a good chat with Jeff during the JV game at halftime. He and I hooked it up pretty good. Hadn't talked to him in a long, long time, several years, but one of the good guys around here. Student managers, those guys get a lot done in our programs here. Chloe Bannister, Taylor Sneezik, the daughter of Stacy and Randy Sneezik, and also Piper Soma. Her mom is one of the hardest working people we got in our school district. Ashley Soma, she works over at the elementary. She's kind of coaches the teachers, new position they've had here in the last few years, and does a great job. But I actually do some things where she helps me out. Mostly when I make mistakes, she fixes them for me, which is
grades the math problems and whatnot. So Gilbert, well, of course, as they always do, change sides this time. BJ Taronis.
That doesn't always happen. Have you ever done youth basketball? Sometimes it's kind of a crapshoot on which side you go. I've had it happen twice this year where the teams both went to the wrong basket. I want to thank Kylie Franzen and Tyler Pudens for helping us. Speaking of school district employees' children, Tyler Pudens, her mom Jen was Isaac's teacher last year, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I don't know. It was at some point in his academic career.
Well, I will make this observation independent of knowing that. Isaac seems smarter now than he was 3 years ago. So he's making progress.
And Kylie Franzen, of course, the daughter of Joel Franzen, another good guy in our district. I see him every day. Teaches algebra and geometry.
Saw them maybe in the Walmart or the Sam's Club the other day. Delightful people, the Franzens are.
Taking his Fresca cans back, no doubt. Lob underneath the basket. This is going to be Stork. Go up with the left hand. No good. Good defense there by Rado. And Bowman pulls down the rebound. She'll push it with Hawthorne on the left wing.
Well, and I think I'll make the observation. Great move by Ava there. That Thea has done a really good job in defending Stork. And when she was out for those 2 minutes, Stork kind of made some hay while the sun was shining, as they say, as Ryan would say to me.
Lop under the basket to Hardcastle, up no good. Rebound Tried to be saved in bounds, but right into the hands of Emma Cruz. She's going to push it up to Rado. Got it way ahead of Rado. Rado runs it down. I can't get a grip on it. Cruz had an open 3. Now it goes back to Rado. Rado stuck under the basket, lost her dribble. Hawthorne will put it on the floor and float one in. That's good.
Hawthorne success early in the second half, dribbling into the lane and scoring.
It's going to write down the halftime score. I often forget to do that.
It's 24-24, Trent.
That's easy to remember. Cruz with the steal.
What a steal. Wonderful steal by Cruz.
She's going to go up, put it off the glass, no good. And Hawthorne will get the putback.
6 straight for Ava. And that's going to be a timeout for Coach Cleveland.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this might be a chance to put your finger in the dike here.
So, of course, you and I have no idea what Coach Frisk said in there. And even if we'd been in there, we probably wouldn't have understood very much of it. But it's a good sign when as we kind of reported, not the strongest first half of basketball. No. And they come right out the second half after a little time to get together and talk and play extremely well and extremely focused. Their defense has been wonderful. BJ Taronis voted for the 5th consecutive year the handsomest coach in Iowa high school basketball.
BJ Taronis and his boys squad will take on ADM. They also won the game earlier this year, 66-59, a pretty close game. I believe they were way ahead in that game, and ADM kind of had a frantic fourth quarter rally that was cut short there. So Tigers trying to take care of business here and get a couple wins on Tuesday night. The Raccoon River Conference, as did, I believe, like the Heart of Iowa Conference, plays the majority of their varsity contests on Tuesdays and Fridays. Tigers will head somewhere Friday. I can't remember where, but they have a road game Friday night.
30-24. Gilbert start off the second half with 6 straight points by Ava Hawthorne.
Drive into the lane by A.J. Smith, up and good.
Tigers push it back in the other direction, trying to play with a little more pace maybe.
Bowman will go right, then up the left hand. Boy, that was a good move, and she's going to get fouled and get to go to the charity stripe.
Very fluid move by Bowman there. Emma got into the lane again. All the Tiger offensive tries in this second half have been our players dribbling into the lane and trying to get short shots in the paint. And she knocks down the first free throw. The Tigers.
Our friend Danny Jones listening. He said, "Is that Tim Day's voice?" It is Tim Day, and Trent Becker with the call tonight. Second free throw rattles around and goes down.
Well, thanks for noticing, Danny, and I appreciate your recognition of my voice, and I'll remember that next time I call your house late at night, that you do know my voice.
Hardcastle will go left and right. She's going to put it up in traffic. Wow. Good shot by Hardcastle.
Really nice move. Gilbert's played really well, but also ADM has had a couple great offensive possessions in this half.
Hawthorne's going to get a 3 off a screen. No good. Rebound to Kearns on the far side. Now Rado with a 3. She bangs that one in. That rattling around roughly, but goes down.
7-point gap now for Gilbert after a 24-24 halftime score. Great 2.5 minutes of basketball thus far.
Couldn't agree more. Shot by Talari. I don't know how she got that off. I couldn't even see her when she shot it in traffic. Goes up with the left hand and gets it to go. Talari with 7 points now.
There's going to be
Rado gets tangled up with
third foul, Trent.
She got tangled up with Talari right in front of the Tiger bench.
And right in front of the official.
See if that's Rado's third. It is, and she's going to stay in. Mike Frisk doesn't go to the bench yet. I would think Nessa Johnson usually goes into play post at this point.
And Thea's a very good player and can play, without fear of fouling there. She has to defend on the screen and getting called for carrying the ball.
Laurie kind of, that happens a lot. It doesn't get called a lot. I do think she did it in that case, but as an official, I don't go looking for that unless it's pretty flagrant. That one was flagrant enough to draw the whistle. Well officiated game here. I don't think anybody's any major beefs with the Rado up in traffic. No good. Rado had a bad angle there.
Yeah, she made it free, and then she fouled in the game with 3 fouls, and now she's scrapping on defense.
Stork up with the shot in the lane. No good. Bowman will pull the rebound down. She's going to take it herself, push it quickly up the floor. Yeah, she traveled. She was trying to pass it and kind of drug her back foot.
I think she kind of knew it herself. She's a little frustrated with herself, but she does bring some speed to the team, and in that case, she really did a nice job of pushing it into the middle.
So there's still attendance restrictions at Raccoon River Conference games. I think you can have households, and that's it. So pretty sparse crowd here tonight. Stork will fire the long three, no good. Long rebound to Kearns.
Kearns has a lot of rebounds tonight. He's picked up a lot of loose balls.
Bowman in traffic, goes up the left hand off the glass and is fouled.
Kind of reminiscent of an earlier move in this half where she got into the lane, turned her back, and then swung around to the left side. And enough confidence in her left hand to get to the rim and get to the free throw line.
Baseball coach Jeremy Eldred. I think that's him. He's got a mask and a hat.
It
is him.
He just robbed a quick shot.
Bowman
still has the mask on.
Bowman's first free throw, good. Her dad, Jeff Bowman, listening from Singapore, which is, I believe, somewhere around Davenport, isn't it? Like just north of Davenport?
Mm-hmm. It is. It's right. Same neighborhood.
Wherever it is, it's what now? 6:55 a.m.
Well, they're still on daylight
Davenport.
savings, Trent. They're still on daylight savings.
Shot up in the lane and misses, but she's going to be fouled by Cruz.
Cruz kind of staked out a position there, but on the other hand, there's significant contact, and you're just not going to not going to sneak that one in very often, Trent. It's going to be called a foul about 99 times out of 100.
Stork will go to the free throw lane and shoot two. Swishes in the first one.
Stork's a very good player, very difficult to defend, and the bad news is she's just a sophomore. The good news, if you're Coach Cleveland, is she's a sophomore. The bad news, if you've got to compete against her for a few years, she's just a sophomore.
This is the second free throw. Tigers will push it back up. Ahead by 5, 3:44 to play in the third quarter. A pretty high-scoring, active third quarter. Hawthorne will go right. Kick it back out to Cruz. She'll launch the three. Swishes it in. Pretty soft shot. Ball hardly spins. It's kind of a Phil Necro knuckleball kind of three, and it goes right in.
Really nice-looking shot there by Emma Cruz. 8-point lead for the Tigers to create another turnover.
Kearns knocks that one away. She'll give it up to Hawthorne. It's going maybe a little fast in traffic. She's going to miss the shot. Now it's on the floor. There's a scrum. Hawthorne will come out with it. Bowman tried to get it down to Nessa Johnson. I'm not sure Nessa was ready for that pass, Tim, and it goes off her hands and back to ADM.
Let me point out a great hustle again by Gilbert there. Kearns created a turnover, made a nice pass, hustled back to keep it alive after Hawthorne couldn't make the layup. A good scrap by Gilbert.
They're going to call a charge on Stork. Johnson ends up on the rack. ADM didn't like it much. That's probably one of those 50-50 calls. I'm not sure that either coach is going to be happy with how that went down. That one goes the Gilbert Tigers' way as Ellie will check in for her sister Emma. Here you go, Tim. Little trivia question. Which one of those two twins is older and approximately how many minutes?
Ellie is 3.5 minutes older.
That's a pretty good guess. 2 minutes.
She seems more mature.
Yeah. Lynch's three, no good. Johnson with the rebound, puts it up in traffic. He might have got blocked and get Hawthorne for over the back. That call I would agree with. A.J. Smith had good positioning. Hawthorne tried to gather in the rebound. In doing so, she fouled Hardcastle.
Both of these teams don't give away rebounds. They both block out well. They're both where they're supposed to be. Not as many fouls in this quarter, just 3 on each team thus far in the second half. Rado is sitting down with 3 fouls, but the Tigers are amply equipped along the front line.
Going to call a jump ball as Nessa Johnson ties up A.J. Smith. Tigers will get the ball back. Rainey Cruz checks in for Emma Cruz. So we just had 2 sister-for-sister swaps. You don't see that a lot in Rainey Cruz, the younger of the 2 Cruz sisters. This is Sydney Lynch. She's going to go left and right. Very adept dribbler is Sydney Lynch.
Yep.
Hawthorne gets it down to Ellie Bowman on the block. She's smothered. Now Lynch passes up the 3. They're going to call 3 seconds on the Gilbert Tigers. Somebody got pin down there.
Yep. Tigers passed very well, and that was a good pass, but just kind of got people stuck in there. (39-31). Gilbert's played a nice third quarter. Scored 15 points here in the third quarter already.
Hardcastle has it on the baseline. She's double teamed down there.
After 24 points in the first half, Gilbert has scored 15 already in the third quarter.
Good drive baseline. Nessa Johnson's going to get called whistle for the foul as Claire Greenslade had made her way to the basket. Had good position on Johnson and fouled her. Theorato will check back in after the first free throw.
Thea's just a really good frontline defender, and they do miss her in some senses when she's not in there, but they have a lot of good defenders inside. But Thea's been a...
Greenslade will swish in the first free throw. Tigers will send Emma Bowman back in for Rainey Cruz. Johnson comes out. Rado checked in for her. So Rado Hawthorne, Ellie Bowman, Emma Bowman, and Sydney Lynch on the floor for the Tigers. That second free throw no good. Emma Bowman will pull it down. She's going to give it back up to Thea Rado, who had slipped back behind ADM. She's going to get a run out, but misses it. Now it's on the floor. They get it to Tolari. ADM, nice job of getting control of that ball and getting it back in their possession. Lynch is really dogging Tolari out away from the basket, and Theorato is going to get a steal if she can keep it in bounds, and she does. She's going to lob it underneath the basket to Emma Bowman. Good patience there by Rado. Didn't panic and got the ball.
Really good pass, wasn't it? There's a lot of precision in that pass. Well done.
Tigers up by 9. Under a minute to play in the third quarter. Game 1 of a Raccoon River Conference doubleheader. Tolari kind of a wild shot, no good.
Great defense by Ellie Bowman there.
Hawthorne's got it. Now Emma Bowman's got it. Rado sets a pick for her. Bowman with a long three. That was an NBA three. No good off the iron. Rado fights for the rebound. She stepped out of bounds. That'll give the ball back to the Tigers. Credit Rado for not giving up on that play and forcing the out of bounds.
Thea's played really well with her fouls. Has continued to play and not been too passive, but on the other hand has refrained from picking up her fourth.
Hawthorne inbounds it to Emma Bowman. Back to Hawthorne now. She's going to shoot the three ball in the corner. Swishes it in. It's a design play. She throws it into Emma. Emma gives it back to her in the corner. And Hawthorne was looking to shoot the minute she caught that.
Largest lead of the night for the Gilbert Tigers at 12. Really good. 20 points here in the third quarter.
Good defense by Rado. Rado was working on the point guard, so kind of a size mismatch, but Rado was up to the challenge. Now she'll switch back to Stork. Tigers inbound. Sydney Lynch knocks it out of bounds. It'll stay ADM ball.
Sydney Lynch has got a lot of quickness, doesn't she, Trent? She really brings speed into this lineup.
She does. I'm going to call Rado for a fourth foul, and that was inexpensive. I hate to use the word cheap, but that was kind of an inexpensive foul.
Yeah, it was
very costly.
Not a place she probably should have been defending quite that closely.
Skylar Hillman was headed in. I don't know if she was checking in for Rado, but Rainey Cruz is going to come in. I'm certain Rado will head out now with her fourth foul. She will. Rainey Cruz will come in for her. Hillman in for Hawthorne. 8.9 seconds to play in the third quarter. ADM will inbounds it. In traffic is Stork. 7 seconds. They're going to call her for traveling. I kind of looked up at the clock, so I don't know what she did, but she was called for traveling.
She did travel. It was just a harassing defense by Gilbert. Caused her to get her feet moving. And so the Tigers now 6 seconds to try to get a shot up.
Inbounds it to Lynch, 5 seconds. Lynch goes behind the back. She's being dogged there by ADM. She's going to launch a three at the horn. If it goes, it's good, I think, and it is not good. So Tigers scored 20 points in the third quarter. They only gave up 8, and because of that, they have a 12-point lead here to start the fourth quarter. It looks like Currens, Hawthorne, and Emma Cruz will check back in to start the fourth quarter for the Tigers.
Whatever Coach Frisk said at halftime, you should probably just say that again. At the third quarter break, a nice quarter by Gilbert. You know, the only kind of sign for alarm there is that Thea has picked up her fourth foul now, and that could kind of change things. A 12-point lead that the Tigers are working on. My guess is Gilbert probably doesn't try to coast to the end of this. They need to score points to to win this game, and they won't be too passive. I don't think they'll just try to salt away a 12-point lead.
And we've, in the course of broadcasting and watching sports, you see teams that kind of go into that, let's try not to give away a 12-point lead mode, and what they end up doing is they give away a 12-point lead.
Seen it a lot, haven't we, Trent?
Put your foot on the accelerator, and so it looks like the Tigers will send, I think that's their starting 5 out there. No, actually, Rainey Cruz is in.
Looks like Thea's not in.
Thea's not in, so Rainey Cruz will start the fourth quarter on the floor for the Tigers.
This ADM team's played really well tonight. The third quarter got away from them a little bit, 24-24 at halftime. But it's really just because Gilbert played well. It's not because ADM played poorly. And there's a moving screen on ADM. That's about the third or fourth one of those that we've seen, Trent.
I was looking kind of out towards the ball. Didn't see what happened, but ADM head coach Jacob Cleveland's asking for an explanation. He gets one. I think that's going to be, is that all on Stork? If it is, that's a huge, that's 5 on Stork. That was a huge deal for the Tigers because I think she was clearly the option here in the second half was to get the ball to her, and she's going to get checked in by, for 25, Aaliyah Yanga. She played a lot in the JV game. Very physical player. She'll play around the basket. Goes left, I can tell you that. Scouting report on her. She goes left-handed.
Well, that is really a big play. That foul on Nicole Stork is just a really terrific player.
Kearns will get it down under the basket to Rainey Cruz. She'll put it up off the basket. Rainey Cruz gets her first basket of the night, I believe. I could be wrong. It is her first basket. Nice job on Rainey. Got some good minutes tonight off the bench for the Tigers. Now Telaria will drive in on Hawthorne. There's bodies hitting the floor. I don't know what happened. They're going to call Emma Cruz, I believe, for fouling Claire Greenslade.
For the Tigers, Ava Hawthorne has 12 points. And most of those earned in the third quarter, in that 20-point third quarter that Gilbert had. And Emma Bowman has 13.
Rainey Cruz checks out. Good couple shifts out of her tonight. Good effort out of Rainey. And Nessa Johnson, I believe, was the one that checked in for her. See if strategy now for ADM is they've lost their leading scorer due to 5 fouls. Emma Cruz will pick up one, trying to play backside defense there. She fouled Cameron Smith. Cameron Smith saw some minutes in the junior varsity game, if I remember right.
That's going to put them in the bonus. That's the 7th team foul on the Tigers. And I'm guessing Gilbert is going to remember that this is a 1-and-1, Trent. Block out and rebound on this one. My prediction comes true. Nessa Johnson snags that rebound. What a pass. Nice job.
Good decision by Kearns there. She could have turned around and tried to force something up. Now she's going to get after Cruz, who's had a hot hand. She's going to rain another one in.
Her third three-pointer tonight, and if you added together cumulatively the height of those 3 three-pointers, it'd be about 120 feet.
She does get good arc on those. They're fun to watch go in. Tigers really playing tough defense here, extending that defense out. Greenslade comes in. Might have got away with a push on Johnson. Now she fights for the rebound of her own shot. Puts it back up, no good. Bowman's going to go up right around the rim and pull that one down. Emma was skying for that one. Kearns now in transition. Has to control it. Now back to Bowman. Just a fantastic. She kind of contained the ball from going out of bounds, gets it to Emma Bowman, and Bowman's going to get fouled and go to the free throw line.
Really great play by Katie Kearns there.
I was almost going to say Emma usually finishes that one pretty good, but she did get fouled. That's probably why she didn't make it.
Now Jack Kearns probably would have grabbed that ball off the baseline, gone underneath, dunked it.
Stopped, introduced himself to all 6 cheerleaders.
Combed his hair.
Yes. We know Jack pretty well. I think you and I have both been around him and coached him. I've coached him one baseball year. One of many fantastic Kearns that we know. Ball all the way down under the basket. Greenslade tried to save it out of bounds, but if you step out of bounds and then save it, then it's out of bounds, wherever your feet were, even though she jumped into the air.
Now an 18-point lead for the Gilbert Tigers. There's just 24-24 at halftime, and ADM is stuck on 32.
They called a 30-second timeout after the ball had been inbounds. A lot of times you see coaches after a made basket, you can get a timeout. That one seemed a little tardy.
Coach Cleveland was pretty animated, and I think the officials decided they would give him. He's been he's been fine. He's been very well behaved.
Yes.
But he was animated and wanting a timeout there, and I think the officials felt like we probably should have seen that, and we didn't in time, and so
he's coached his girls very, very hard tonight, and they've been in this game for the first half for sure, and the Tigers just went on a lightning fast run to start the second half, find themselves now with a, I'd say, fairly comfortable 18-point lead.
Well, ADM has not scored 18 points in a quarter yet tonight, so it would take an unprecedented offensive explosion by ADM to get this. But one of the ways you do that is become too passive for Gilbert. And they're not. They're moving the ball around, moving bodies around.
Oh, sling it around, try to get maybe an easy layup here or something. Kern's posting up now, and now they get it to Bowman, who's posted up in traffic. That's going to be stolen away by Tolari.
Tolari's very quick as well. He really changes the pace of the game.
Gets it down under the basket. That's a good feed to Greenslade. She puts it up off the glass and good. It's now 16-point lead. Johnson's going to get a run out.
Really nice pass there by Emma Bowman, who saw Johnson slip behind the defense.
Rado's going to come back in with 4 fouls here. She'll check in with the Stacys. Come back in.
What if, like, Stacey Cesic just said, no, you can't go in.
Can't.
What
Sorry.
would happen there?
Ooh.
She's got an official shirt on. She gets to make that. I mean,
Well, Jamie Lenz used to ref the JV game. Then he'd just leave his shirt on, go over and do that. Seemed good. You only had to waste 1 shirt that night.
Yeah.
Saved Julie a lot of laundry. 52-34, Tigers with an 18-point lead. They'll inbounds it with some full-court pressure. Bowman will break it easily. She's going to go coast to coast, up in traffic, up the glass, no good. Rado is going to fight for it. They're going to call it jump ball. That'll stay the Tigers' way on the alternate held ball rule.
I'm guessing Coach Frisk probably doesn't want that coast to coast right now. But on the other hand, we've talked about not taking your foot off the accelerator.
She's pretty good at going to the rack.
Yep.
Inbounds pass, great inbounds pass. Hawthorne to Johnson. She'll get the easy bank shot off the glass from the box.
Well-designed play gives the Gilbert Tigers a 20-point lead now over the ADM Tigers. Lynch set to check back in.
Tolari working.
If Stacey Stezek lets her.
Gonna call a foul, I think, on Cruz. Cruz or Hawthorne both in the area. I didn't see Hawthorne commit any fouls. They are going to call it on Emma Cruz. That will put Tolari at the line to shoot the 1 in bonus.
Tolari.
Would you like to see the get 3 shots to make 2?
Nope, I was not a fan of that part of the
NBA. That was probably 80s, maybe.
Yeah, I think they
80s.
started that in the ABA. I think that's one of those that started in the ABA and came over. Didn't move the red, white, and blue basketball over, but did move the 3 to make 2.
NIT used to use an alternately colored ball, I believe. Tolari's first free throw up and good. Never been a big fan, unless you're playing in your driveway. That's okay then, but I think in a regulation game, you go with the tan and cowhide basketball. Whatever they're made of. Is it cowhide?
Sure.
Second one up and good by Tolari. ADM has shot the free throws pretty well tonight. Inbounds pass to Hawthorne now, and she's going to not wait to get trapped and push it up quickly to Johnson.
Wow.
In traffic. Really good. I don't know how Ava saw Nessa open. That's a player who sees the floor a little differently than most players, I think it's safe to say.
Really did thread it through a really small spot, and it was not an easy catch and finish for Johnson either. Really nice play on both sides.
She's headed to the Missouri Valley Conference. We'll go play at Drake here in a couple of years. 3 up now off the front iron. Lynch is going to get the wrong rebound. Sydney did a really good job of using her body to get position in that long. Oh, she got run over by Tolari. That was just, she didn't expect Lynch to put the brakes on, and she did. Kind of like in Top Gun, when Maverick put the brakes on, the MiG flies by. So the MiG crashed into the back of Maverick in this situation. You know what reference I'm making, don't you? Top Gun fan?
I am familiar with the Top Gun. I've probably only seen it once or something. Not as many times as a lot of people.
Yeah, lob inside to Johnson. She misses the first one, gets her own rebound. Misses the second one. Emma Bowman almost had a steal there, but Tolari will push it up quickly. 4:20 to play. They're going to call Sydney Lynch for a foul there. The ball went out of bounds, but sometimes in situations like that, we'll just give it back to the team who had the ball, and then you don't have to call a foul.
20-point margin for the Gilbert Tigers. In the second half, it's really been all Gilbert.
This will be 1-1. Next foul will be the double bonus. That one kisses the front of the iron and goes in.
I would prefer to see, back when we used to broadcast, many of the current people don't know that it was my responsibility to come up with a half-baked idea, And one of the half-baked ideas, I don't know if I had this before, but I'll introduce it now, is the Tigers lead by 18. Ava Hawthorne brings the ball up. On that free throw, you should get an opportunity to shoot for more by backing up further and further as an opportunity to catch up. I'd like to try a 4-point free throw from half court, please.
Ball goes out of bounds. They're going to give it back to the Tigers, the Gilbert Tigers. I haven't done that a lot tonight, but both teams, the Tigers tonight, we're up to 111 viewers, Tim. We didn't have such technology we're arcing wires like MacGyver trying to get launched.
We broadcast entire games that no one listened to. We know that for a fact.
Talari gets the steal, saves it in bounds. Really nice play there by Talari. She's going to get the ball back now. She's going to try to work on Lynch in traffic. Rado swats it away.
We broadcast 2 entire games where we forgot to turn the computer on. I don't know if you remember that.
Greenslade will make the rebound putback, and Jacob Cleveland will call a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout.
The Klatts are in the house. See Scott and Buffy. So if you live in their neighborhood and you need to borrow something, this would be a good time to
Scott always leaves his garage unlocked.
Yep, head to their house. And
have you met the youngest Klatt boy, Cooper Klatt?
Rifle through their belongings. I have not.
You'd find him very delightful, very resourceful. Usually find him working somebody's yard, maybe with a lawnmower or a dethatcher. He can do stuff like that. If you never need your yard dethatched, call Cooper Klatt. He's got a dethatcher. I believe he stole it from Butch Hansen down the street from me and uses it freely.
Yeah. How about a rethatcher? No. I feel like I don't have as much thatch as I want.
You want some more? Well, he could take it out of my yard, go distribute it under your yard.
How about a mat thatcher? Is that something?
Still got a few Thatchers left coming through. Sarah Thatcher and Mary Thatcher, I believe, are both still in high school. One of the nicer families in the Gilbert.
Direct descendants of the...
Margaret Thatcher, the former British Prime Minister.
Oh, no,
shares a birthday with me, did you know?
I think of the couple that ran the general store at the Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, yeah. Beckers have taken up watching Little House on the Prairie. We like to watch the antenna TV. We watch that quite a bit.
That's right.
Adam 12, An Emergency, Little House on the Prairie. Highway to Heaven, very popular.
Speaking of Little House on the Prairie.
Isaac thinks he gets confused because Michael Landon's on both those shows. 3 by Kearns, no good. Rado gets the rebound. She's going to get to go to the free throw line.
Kearns has had a really good night tonight. Kearns has got a lot of loose balls and I'm not sure how much she's going to show up in the.
She only scored 2 points, but she's contributed in many facets to the Tigers defense.
She's been lots of rebounds and lots of loose balls and just done a lot of good things for the Tigers tonight.
We say this about a lot of kids, but pretty hard to find a kid you like more than Katie Kearns. She's, besides just being a really good athlete in many sports, she's a really delightful kid to be around. Probably going to do something great in her life that probably will not include broadcasting high school sports like you and I are doing. Something way more.
Unless something tragic happens to her, I wouldn't think.
She's going to sail out of this place and do something great. Rado, second free throw, kisses the iron, no good. Emma Bowman contended for the rebound, but it's going to be pulled down by Greenslade, and Talari will have it with 3:30 to play in the game. Tigers up by 16.
Tigers led tonight by Emma Bowman's 14 points. Ava Hawthorne has 12.
She had a steal, and she's going to get get a tie up there, but now she gets a steal. And they're going to push it up quickly to Bowman. Bowman might have traveled, puts it up in traffic. No good, gets the rebound. And they're going to call a jump ball.
Fair enough. There was kind of a scrum in there.
I'll let you read that. Mark Mott's chiming in on some of our, we're joking around, and hopefully nobody from ADM's listening going, you're going to Google where Scott Klatt lived. We know Scott Klatt well enough to encourage felonies to be committed. He would be laughing if he was listening to this now. Thank goodness he's not. Or he's going home now. I see him leaving the gym, go home and lock his garage. Wild shot up off the glass by Greenslade, no good. Bowman's going to get a dunk on the run out on the other end and puts it up off the glass and good.
Great heads-up pass by Emma Cruz. He grabbed that thing and saw that Bowman was behind the defense. Great pass by Emma Cruz.
Both teams really not quitting on this game, both playing really hard defense on both ends of the floor. Greenslade's got it now on Rado. She goes up in traffic. Bowman swipes the rebound away from her teammate, Ava Hawthorne. Now Hawthorne's got it. She's going to lob it down to Rado. Rado back to Hawthorne. Holy smokes, that was a good pass.
If I had that on tape and ever coached a basketball team, I'd show that and say,
do this a lot.
Do that thing.
Yeah.
What a wonderful pass by Thea Rado.
Tigers' largest lead of the night is 20. 60-40 now. 2 minutes to play in the game.
And if it ever turns out I am coaching your daughter's high school basketball team, you should open enroll in another school district.
Hardcastle now gives it back. It's going to be blocked. The three by Julia Case is blocked. Now the ball is going to go off of Emma Bowman's. She kind of grinned. She knew she knocked out of bounds. The official was right there to make the call. Now both benches kind of get cleared. Ellie Bowman's coming in. Lynch is coming in. It looks like Kearns and Emma Bowman are going to check out.
Trent, I think you and I both remember when Coach Frisk was at Roland Story and coached that team very well, and he's coaching this team very well. This team did a wonderful job tonight of sticking with the things that have got them where they are, and really nice night for Gilbert.
Yep. Good game by the Tigers. They had a little lull toward the end of the first half. They played through that and have rallied the squad. Drive up in traffic, off the glass, no good. That was a good-looking drive by Addison Vance.
Yeah,
no
nice
good.
move.
Addison saw a lot of minutes in the junior varsity. Most of these girls played in the JV game. Everybody's probably sick of hearing that. I refereed the JV game, so that's how I know. Long three by Hawthorne, no good. Lynch gets the long rebound. Kicks that one out of bounds. I think it's going to go off of
ADM, and that'll allow for 4 more substitutes.
So
and the fans appreciate the effort of the Gilbert girls as they leave the court.
Abigail Taronis is in there, as is Grace Ellingson, Skylar Hillman, Ava Johnson, and John Arado on the floor for the Tigers. I might have to go find Grace Ellingson and apologize. I think I whistled her for 4 fouls. Taronis' long three is no good. I think I whistled her for 4 fouls in that JV game. I think she hopefully didn't think I was picking on her.
She posted some stuff on the internet
about
it.
She snap tweeted something. Whoa, vicious pick there. And ADM's going to fight through it, but Abby Taronis.
Really nice steal by Abby to be right where she's supposed to be, but maybe did a little foot shuffle there after she stole it. She's smiling, as Taronis often do.
Some sort of hold, some sort of violation. It's going to be a 1-on-1. We're going to call John Arado for the hold. That'll delay the end of this game while we shoot some free throws. This is going to be the double bonus, 2 shots, Tim. I want to thank Tim Pizzetti for all he does to make this happen. Gets us all the nice equipment we need and passes to get in.
Find a luxurious kind of hospitality room where the finest meats and cheeses.
First free throw up and good. Second one spins in. It goes in as well. A couple good-looking free throws. Ellingson inbounds it to Ava Johnson. Under a minute now to play in the game. Tigers will attack with their junior varsity squad to finish this game up. Hillman will go to the floor. Vance almost had a steal there. Now Taronis gets it back to Rado. And Hillman will fire the 3. No good. Rado with the rebound and putback. John Arado.
Really nice offensive possession for that second group. They passed the ball really well, got an open 3, crashed the boards, and Rado, the recipient of a nice putback.
3 up by, that was Paige Grassley that fired that 3. Now the rebound's up, put back up, no good. Having trouble, I got to look up the names because we got a bunch of new players in there. It's going to stay the ADM way.
Nice save there by Rado also, tried to save it back in.
Kirsten Kilker and her wrestling around on the floor for the ball. 10 seconds to play in the game. ADM will inbounds it and get one more shot here. Up off the glass, no good. Grace Ellingson pulls down the rebound, and she can just hold on to it now. She will dribble it up and run out the clock. Tigers are going to win 62-42 in game 1 of this Raccoon River Conference doubleheader. The boys' game will be coming up in about 15 minutes or so. I do think I do need to head to the green room, and we'll be back at you here in 10 or 15 minutes or so. Thanks to Tyler Pudens and Kylie Franzen on the camera for that. And again, Tigers win 62-42.
Yep.
So confident.
I don't think I said anything mean about it.
Why? It's some of us good athlete.
How are you? Oh, fat, dumb, and happy. Doing well, actually.
think I got all the knobs and whatnot turned back on here on the. Got some new equipment. You've noticed this is not the old. Remember we had it in like a bushel basket,
Yep.
you know, that we would dump off the leaves.
That's your phone.
Oh, you can text.
Yeah,
So it's kind of cool. I'll say it's kind of an interesting story. I looked at the names down here for the coaches. Steve Blazik, 9th grade basketball. My high school baseball coach, Steve Blazik, and high school varsity basketball coach for many years in Atlantic, my hometown. I'm thinking, well, that's kind of a unique name. So I run into somebody in the men's room, say, hey, you're from ADM. You know this Steve Blazik guy? Oh, yeah, he's our freshman coach. Was he the head coach at Gilbert or at Atlantic for? Oh, yeah, that's him, same guy. So
really,
unfortunately, I think he's coaching the freshman play over in the junior high gym, so I'm not going to get to probably see him tonight, but it would be very good to see my old coach, my old baseball coach. He was a super passive guy. If you're listening for ADM, I'll tell a Blazik story. He's really mild-mannered, about as mild-mannered on the baseball field as a guy you'll see, and even the basketball court. I don't remember him ever getting a technical foul or anything like that. We had a baseball game. It was kind of a hotly contested game, and slid into second. I thought the shortstop kind of gave me one in the ribs, you know, with his elbow, and I didn't really like it, so I shoved him to the ground in the middle of the game.
What?
Yeah. You know me. I'm pretty mild-mannered. I don't get, but it was kind of a cheap shot. Like my coach. Nothing happened to the kid that elbowed me. My coach pulled me out of the game right in the middle of the game because he didn't want his players acting like jackknobs while they were running the bases. Fair enough. I was kind of upset at the time, but as a coach now, I kind of appreciate and respect what Coach Blazik did at that time. And assuming the winningest basketball coach in Atlantic history, he was there a long, long time. Took my nephew, Brett Meyer, that used to be the quarterback of the Iowa State Cyclones, took him to
extremely handsome man.
State tournament, I don't know if it was his junior or senior year, but he played against Nate Funk. I don't know if you remember him. He played at Creighton. Nate Funk, good basketball player from Sioux City, Heelan. I think they played them in the semifinals. And Brett had to guard Nate Funk.
No relation to Jim Funk.
I don't believe so. No. And I think Brett had the better game that night if I was fairly evaluating the situation. So the Gilbert Tigers girls team win 62-42 in the opening game here. The boys will play next. They come into the season 5-5, fourth place in the conference. Carroll Tigers, kind of the top team in the boys' side. New conference this year, the Raccoon River. The Tigers, after many, many years in the Heart of Iowa Conference, made it over to the Raccoon River Conference, where ADM has been there for quite a while. Can you name all 10 teams in the Raccoon River Conference, Tim?
Boy, I sure couldn't.
You got the Gilbert Tigers.
It would be Gilbert. It would be ADM.
ADM.
It would be Carroll. It would be your Bondurant and Farrars.
Bondurant and Farrar both are in there.
It would be your.
You got the big rivals right down Highway 69 there.
Your
the Bombers.
Your Huxley Bombers.
The Huxley Bombers.
Your North Polk stayed in the in the other one.
They came with us. Nope, okay. They were with us. So that's
your
6. You got 4 teams left. Got to go a little farther south for 2 of them. Wouldn't that be funny if there was
Kansas
only 9?
City? Is it Kansas City?
Not quite that far. We got the Winterset Huskies.
Oh, sure.
You got the Perry Blue Jays.
Boone
Toreadors.
Yep.
Seems like I'm missing one. Did we miss one? Bondurant. Oh, Carlisle Wildcats. Wildcats is the other team. Yeah.
That's a good conference for this team. I mean, Gilbert certainly enjoyed their days in the Heart of Iowa Conference, and great rivalries with South Hamilton and with Roland Story and other teams in that conference. However, the kind of demographics that could change for the school, even though, I wouldn't want to line up and play against Roland Story in just about any sport. But, when you get into the larger sizes of classes, you kind of end up with more kids wanting to play in A and B and C teams, as they used to call them. I don't know what they call them anymore, but
A, B, and C teams.
Yeah, when you get into those sizes, it is kind of nicer to have schools of comparable size to populate teams in that way.
Illustration night, North Polk Comets are here playing middle school basketball, 8th grade, and there is an A, B, C, and D game. So they've got the A and B games are going to be played in the West Gym. East Gym has the C and D game, so which is all good and fine. It means the kids get to play more. The problem is now you got to have 2 sets of officials, so Tim Pizzetti's job gets a little harder when he's got to do all that. One of the reasons I ended up refereeing tonight was they put me on this game so then they could pull one of the 2 here and go over. It wasn't because of my.
It still kind of ends up kind of slapdash if they're getting guys like you to officiate them, and I don't know if that's a work release situation or how that works for you, but I'm glad you're able
working
to
off my community service.
Do that.
We'll give you the starting lineups here as they're announced by Jen Schnormeyer. Tim Pizzetti made some sort of announcement. I didn't hear it. It wasn't like there isn't like civil unrest in the Capitol or anything tonight that we need to evacuate. It wasn't that.
I actually walked by the Gilbert City building, and it seemed pretty calm there.
Okay. All right. So we should be okay.
John Pop seemed to have everything under control.
Tigers will send out Burke Hansen. Tanner Henningsen also in the starting lineup. Justin Terry, number 30, kind of an up-and-comer on the Gilbert squad. Easton Johnson, I predict, will have 19 rebounds tonight. Ethan Veazey. I know you probably don't know Ethan, but
I don't.
Ethan is a delightful kid and very fun to watch running back in football, and really fun kid to watch. Really gets after it here. I know he.
One of my first thoughts I had, Trent, when I saw him is I would not like to tackle that guy. I would not.
Kind of gives you kind of a little bit of a Zach Becker to him, where he's difficult to bring down and usually did not go down on the first contact, but pretty good basketball player too. He's not going to score a ton of points, but plays good defense. And Easton Johnson, 41, the fireballing right-hander for the Gilbert. We see Coach Eldred sit in front of us. I see him down there fervently praying that Easton Johnson's ACL remains intact for this entire game, as does his UCL, and all of his CLs would stay intact. ADM will control the tip. That's Juergens, number 1. He's their leading scorer. This is Sam Halas. I assume that's pronounced Halas, H-L-A-S. What are you going with, Tim? I didn't really get the pronunciation.
We'll go with
from that.
Floss.
Grant Garten also shooting. That's going to be Juergens with a long 3, no good. Veazey's going to grab it in traffic. Now it's knocked away and controlled. Tate Stein-Smith, number 13. Remember his name from football. He's a very good football player, if I recall. Maybe quarterback, running back guy.
Juergens averages 10 points a game, and Stein-Smith 10, and Floss 10. So a number of viable weapons for ADM.
Garten's left-hander no good. As I predicted, Easton Johnson pulled down the first one of his 19 rebounds he's going to have in this game.
Neither of us can count to
Tim,
19, so we're just going to take your word for it.
If he ends up with exactly 19 rebounds, I will buy you dinner after the game at the restaurant of your choice, except for Aunt Maud's. I don't have enough money to eat at Aunt Maud's, but it would be I'll buy it if it's Aunt Maud's. We'll just you just have to do appetizers. Burke Hansen will put it on the floor. He's going to go to Terry. Terry's kind of trapped under the basket. Hansen will fire the 3, swishes it in. Burke Hansen, very adept basketball player. Kind of the leader on this team, I think, as a junior even.
Burke averaging 14 points a game, or 13.7, just under 14. Henningsen, 13 a game.
Juergens is going to put on the floor, go to the rack. Defended well by Terry. Justin Terry, a junior, very active guy. He's going to have the ball now. He's going to run a little weave here with Burke Hansen, and now Veazey's got it. Tries to get it to Easton down on the block. He's going to go hard to the rack. Easton Johnson, the big strapping lad. No good. Terry gets the junk rebound back in. Just as I mentioned, Justin Terry very active. He gets a rebound and put back.
Wonderful job by Justin there. Got the rebound, kept it up high, and got it right back in before ADM defenders had a chance to gather themselves. Nice put back by Terry. 5-0 for the Tigers.
You know Justin's father. Works there at the Iowa State University in charge of game day stuff.
Oh, yeah, Nathan Terry's
Nathan Terry, yep. That's
Nathan
Nathan Terry's kid. Juergens' ball blocked. I believe Johnston got the block, and it's going to go out of bounds off of Juergens.
Nathan Terry, it's ironic because Nathan Terry, historically unathletic, really has a hard time putting together 5 steps in a row. No, I'm just kidding. Nathan's probably a wonderful athlete. He's a wonderful at his job at Iowa State, I can tell you that.
Justin Terry on the baseline now. He's going to try to get it. Lobs it in under Easton Johnson. Goes up under the basket. He's going to get fouled and go to the free throw line.
Easton's just a big strapping lad. Wears number 41 on his costume, and he is. There's really, you just look on the floor right here. There's not really anyone that compares to him physically, and certainly in terms of effort, he's hard to top as well. So he is going to give his opponents a workout tonight and most nights.
Easton misses the first free throw. You'd think he's tough under the basket and going to be tough to bang with there. Wait till baseball season when they try to hit his curveball. It's going to be way more fun than this.
Or when they hang a curveball to him.
He will flatten baseballs. He's headed to Creighton University to play some baseball. Over and back. Just kind of a mental mistake there by Tate Stein-Smith. wanted to give up his dribble and passed it into the backcourt to his teammate who had not established himself in the front court.
Jurgens has to get the old shoe tied. You can see just from watching early doors here that Ethan Jurgens is a really experienced basketball player.
Yep. Not a big feller. The steal there by ADM. They throw it into the backcourt where Jurgens gets it, goes up in traffic, and Terry swats the ball away.
Nice play, defensive play by Tate Stein-Smith there. Made a steal and tossed it into the front court.
Jurgens' baseline three is no good. Burke Hansen will run down the long rebound. He's going to give it to Tanner Henningsen. Tanner goes left and right. Bodies fly on the floor, no call. Might be a good no-call play on there. I'm not going to argue with that. Drive all the way to the rim, no good, is Tate Stein-Smith. Hansen now on the baseline. Terry will put it on the floor, go left. Gets pinched off nicely here by ADM. Henningsen will go baseline now in traffic, blocked by, I don't know if that was Stein-Smith or Dylan Anderson, number 35.
Dylan Anderson to me.
Dylan Anderson, a tall, lanky feller.
Dylan Anderson took a look at Burke Hansen's. Took a look at Burke Hansen's sideburns and said, "Yeah, I can top you. I can do better."
Burke does have a good sideburn game. Anderson shoots the left-hander from the free throw line, no good. And Tigers have the rebound now. Burke Hansen, three, rattles in, out, and then goes back in.
8 points for the Gilbert Tigers, 6 of them earned by Burke Hansen from behind the three-point line.
Spencer Klatt and Chris Zaz will check in. I don't know if you probably don't know Chris. I don't think he came through with any of your kids. Know the Zaz family. He's fun to watch. Jurgens will give it down the corner now with Anderson at the elbow. He's going to put it right and left, go up in traffic against Terry. Really nice job of Anderson there with the left hand. Anderson's a lefty. Notice he shot left-handed twice now.
He's very tall. I don't know how tall, but Anderson very tall and uses his body really well.
Henningsen's three high off the iron. Easton Johnson just man-handled that rebound. I don't know how to describe that any better now. He's going to get another one. He might have 19 in the first quarter, Tim. Got 2 on that possession, puts the foot back in.
Really nice effort by Easton there.
That's fun to
in
watch.
Really every way. 10-2 for Gilbert.
Grant Garten and Johnson really battling under the basket. They kick it around. Anderson's going to get a 4-footer, decides to put it on the floor, go in on Terry, the left hand. Kiss is no good. Johnson gets his fifth rebound.
I think it's his 5th already.
5th rebound, 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Tigers lead 10-2.
And again, I said, Easton's a big, strong kid, but it's really his effort that puts him in that place where he's just going to end up with a bucket full of rebounds every night.
Easy with his first shot, no good. He just creates, like you said, some physical matchups that can be hard to work through.
He actually, when I see him physically, reminds me a lot of myself when I was that age.
Yep. That's a 3 from the far side by Halas.
Except I think he probably had a date to the prom.
Yes.
So there's some differences. 10-5, Gilbert leads ADM.
Jurgens working hard on Henningsen. Now he gives it to Burke. Vicious pick there by Easton Johnson, and Burke Hansen.
3 for 3.
Smoother than the other side of Wait, is it smoother or cooler than the other side of the pillow? My
smoother
pillows are
than
smooth.
the butter on your pillow, I
There you
think
go.
is the saying, Trent.
So now Trent Forth's also going to check in.
8 early points for Burke Hansen.
Anderson will give it down in the corner. Now they give it on the baseline to Garten. Garten dribbles into the lane. On the floor, pretty dangerous pass there. Tigers almost had a turnover. Anderson now back out to Tate Stein-Smith. Now to Jurgens. He'll get the wide open 20-footer. Swishes it in. Seems like he's going to make those, Tim, if you leave him open out there.
Yeah. Gilbert's played well, but now all of a sudden 12-8, so the margin's closed a little bit. Henningsen tries to get in the lane there.
Hansen with the 16-footer misses everything. He's going to hit the out-of-bounds line and go back. 6 subs into the game, 3 for both squads. Chris Zaz. If I call him Matt, he's got a younger brother, Matt, at the middle school. I do that sometimes where I call the wrong. I don't think I called Emma Bowman Addie once tonight. I think
Nice job.
I called her Bowman a lot to kind of stay away from that.
Trenton 4th in the game for the Gilbert Tigers.
Fourth, a senior. That's hard to. We say that a lot, but it just.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just forget the kids get older when they go over to high school. You see them in the middle school a lot. Fourth will give you some minutes off the bench here, as will Klatt. Underneath the basket there, Easton Johnson pinches it off nicely. I think got blocked from behind there by Klatt. Fourth will end up with the ball. He pushes it up quick to Spencer Klatt. Thought about shooting a 3, drives in, kicks it back to Fourth. Zaz has got it. Now Burke Hansen going 1-1, goes baseline, floats it in. That's tough to defend. It wasn't defended poorly at all there by ADM, but Burke Hansen's
10 points for Burke so far out of the 14.
It's most of his athletic ability from his mother, Katie Hansen.
Katie, kind of the salt of the earth in terms of something needs to be done to help other people. Katie's there.
Stein Smith misses the three. Tigers push up quickly. Burke Hansen tried to save it, but instead threw it to Steve Hastett. Steve Hastett, no more eligibility.
Steve is retired and has grown his hair out a little bit there, hasn't he?
I said he kind of has the Ben Franklin look going.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I see him flying a kite over at the elementary school with a key tied to the end of the tail. Jay Brantner, our good friend Jay's listening, as is Coach Nordine, one of Graham Lunt's assistants on his team, listening in on the YouTubes tonight. Three in the corner, good by Ryan Junkie. They're going to push back up. That's the Ruba boy, Alex Ruba. 7'12" Alex Ruba.
Nice move by Ruba there. Mostly to run the court and get himself in position for that easy layup.
He's a tall,
cool drink of water, that Alex Ruba is.
Jurgens drives in on Ruba, puts it up with the left hand. That's tough to defend. Well, good defense there by Ruba. That was just a good play by a very experienced player.
Jurgens is not a player to be trifled with.
Jurgens is a senior.
Fourth and Clad have brought some pace into this game.
Ruba's going to fire the three, and it's going to miss. So that's how we'll end the first quarter, 16-13.
Pretty good first quarter for the Tigers, for the Gilbert Tigers, of course. I mean, but this ADM team, looking at them thus far, they're going to be salty, and it's going to be a scrap here tonight for Gilbert. I think they do have the ability to. It seems like their first five might be a little more physical than ADM's first five, but also, when you got really salty guards in Tate, Smith, and Jurgens like ADM does, it's hard to count them out, Trent.
Again, the Tigers won the first matchup, their first Raccoon River Conference game back in early November. That seems like a long time ago because it was a long time ago. But I think I remember reading the box score, and I think the Tigers were ahead by maybe 16-17 going into the fourth quarter, and it ended up being a pretty close game. The Gilbert Tigers hang on. 66-59, I jotted down some notes. ADM 3-7 coming in tonight. They're in 7th place in the Raccoon River Conference. I almost said Heart of Iowa out of habit. Tigers will send Burke Hansen, Spencer Klatt, Easton Johnson, Justin Terry, and Tanner Henningsen back to the floor to start the second quarter. Tanner
brings a kind of nice mix of length and ball handling and rebounding ability, and he's kind of that tweener guy that does everything pretty well. Handles the ball well, rebounds well, defends well.
You know what else he does well? Shows livestock. Very good at the livestock showing. Justin Terry gets pinched off on the baseline. Back to Henningsen now. He'll shoot the three. In and out, no good. Terry fights for the rebound.
Boy, Terry has played very well.
He's just kind of sneaky. He just doesn't look like overpowering physically, but he gets every loose ball that comes his way, puts it on the floor this way. He's going to go right to the rack. A little strong. Klatt almost had the rebound. It's Ryan Junkie that was in there. Thought about pulling the three. Now they give it down underneath the basket. Nobody counted for Tate Stein, and Tate Stein Smith. I got my hyphen in the wrong place. He puts in the one-hander. 1 point Tiger lead. Henningsen will work on Junkie. Gives it to Burke Hansen. Pretty tough to stop Burke in that position. He does miss the shot.
Tate Stein Smith is pretty well equipped, though. He's a good-sized kid. He's very strong and very quick. Nice block by Terry there.
Blocks Junkie. Excuse me, that was Defoe that he blocked. Easton Johnson denied his 6th rebound. Stein Smith drives in, dishes it nicely to his teammate Defoe for the easy bank shot.
Like that, Gilbert goes behind, and Coach Taronis would like a timeout.
He's going to take the timeout that is the full variety, and why he does, we will entertain you with some humorous anecdotes. I don't have any. We've got 104 viewers. That's a little bit more than we had earlier. Jeff Bowman thanked us for doing a good job, but it was in Singapore. So he's probably somebody had to translate it to what do they speak in Singaporese? Singaporese, so he could understand what we were saying since he's in Singapore.
I think they just have a computer thing that does that, right? So, yeah, the nice win for the Gilbert Tiger girls tonight. Prior to this game, they were tied 24-24 with ADM at halftime, and then the second half was kind of all Gilbert Tigers.
Yeah.
Coach Frisk gave a rousing halftime speech, and the girls came out and really played extremely well in the second half.
Do you ever have one of those growing up? You played some sports and high school stuff, like one of those speeches that you remember, kind of the Remember the Titans kind of speech. You have any of those that you remember? Or?
I don't. I do remember my football coach grabbing me by the face mask and lifting me off my feet, pinning me to the lockers.
What did you do right before that?
It's
that precipitated that? A little misunderstanding?
It's all confusing. There's a lot of things happen. There's a lot of confusion. But the Gilbert Tigers now trail 17-16 for the first time in the game. They find themselves behind.
Hanson will shoot the three off the iron, no good. Johnson didn't. That was Zaz that actually kept that alive, not Johnson. Excuse me. They both have a big blonde mop of hair, and I couldn't tell them apart. Veazey will shoot the three now. That one's going to kick off the back iron.
Looks straight from here. I thought Zaz was going, Veazey was going to make that.
Just a little strong was Ethan Veazey on the three ball. Good shot though. Good open look. ADM ahead by one now. They've been playing from behind most of this first half. ADM will whip it around the perimeter. Not doing so well at memorizing the names here yet, Tim. I promise I'll do better.
Well, I don't think there's real high expectations, so I wouldn't put a lot of pressure on yourself, Trent.
People
do the best you can.
People have the video. They can see it. You know, this is Juergens to Junkie. That's Halas down there, number 11.
Very patient possession here by ADM. They know what they want to do, and they're taking their time trying to get it.
Really running Juergens all over the floor trying to get open. Anderson goes up in traffic. He's going to get fouled by Zaz, I believe.
Anderson certainly has some things to do, does some things that are very hard to defend. He's a very, very smooth player.
Good touch around the rim, and he's going to go to the charity stripe to try to extend the lead. 17-16 is the lead currently as the clock is stopped with 5:10 to play in the first half.
Anderson averaged about 6 points a game and about 3 rebounds a game, but he has played very well thus far tonight.
Just notice ADM's broadcasting, so we probably don't have any ADM fans that are. Maybe they're watching the video on our.
They could.
They're welcome to if you're listening from Adele, DeSoto, or Minburn or somewhere in that area. Thanks for listening in.
Anywhere in the Adele, DeSoto, Minburn Metroplex, you are welcome.
Veazey goes up in traffic off the glass. Ethan Veazey fights through a couple of defenders and puts it up and in.
Tigers regain the lead on the Veazey scorer in the lane.
Down under the basket, and the Tigers are getting an easy put in. Grant Garton, the ADM Tigers.
Wonderful screen and roll play there between Garton and Halas.
Henningsen goes left-handed. He's going to go all the way to the iron. Has it rejected by Anderson.
Dylan Anderson, not a man to be trifled with tonight, no. Trent.
Looks like he probably listens to a lot of 70s music and kind of chill guy, but gets after it on the court.
Very strong set of sideburns, and I don't know if they do an all-sideburn team.
We've got a couple early entries for that with Dylan Anderson and Burke Hansen.
Juergens ended up on the floor there, but no foul called. Could get him stuck in the lane there, but he's pulled away by Henningsen.
Henningsen just took it right away from him, from Grant Garton. Burke Hansen goes in, contorts his body wildly. Zaz fighting for the rebound, gets it back to Hansen. He'll swish in the three.
He makes him 3 for 4 by unofficial account on 3-pointers.
Juergens comes up a little gimpy there. I think he may have twisted his ankle. Hopefully he's okay. Ryan Junkie's going to check in for him.
Hansen with 3 3-pointers and a couple of 2-pointers. I have him for 11 on the board, but pretty sure he has 13.
If you say so, Tim.
Get the mathematics.
That's
kind of
big
paying
numbers.
attention.
Part of the science degree you got there. Kloss will give it back to Garton. Garton throws it under the basket to Stein-Smith. And
Stein-Smith is well put together and knows what he's doing out there as well. He's not to be trifled with.
Kind of looks like Ivan Drago from Rocky IV a little bit. Actually, doesn't really look anything like him. That was, we're going to call Ethan Veazey drug his pivot foot and was whistled for the travel violation. Terry's going to check in for Easton Johnson.
I think what I would my comment about Stein Smith is that there aren't many players out there who really want to go chest to chest with Ethan Veazey, but I don't think Stein Smith minds it at all.
Those two faced each other on the football field last fall. ADM and Gilbert, I think, played week 2. Fourth, Ruba and Klatt will come in. Another basket there by Stein Smith.
A couple buckets in a row by Stein Smith when Juergens went to the bench.
ADM leads by 2 now, 23-21. Hanson's going to go left hand all the way to the basket. Has it knocked out of bounds.
It's going to be Tiger ball, knocked out of Henningsen's hands. There's about 3 minutes to go, and the Tigers find themselves trailing by 2 and kind of some wholesale changes.
We're going to send everybody out except for Terry. He'll stay on the field. And there was a little discussion. They'd originally given it to the Tigers, and then I think rightly gave it back to ADM. I think that's who it belonged to. There's a little hesitation on the officiating crew. They got together, I think, got that one right.
Coach Taronis does not seem very bothered by it.
BJ pretty mild-mannered on the sidelines. Pretty rare to see him get worked up. 3 now by the ADM Tigers. That was Ryan Junkie tosses one in from 20 feet. Tigers push quickly. That ball's going to go off Alex Ruba's hand out of bounds. Fourth tried to give it to Ruba down on the corner.
Ruba kind of pulled up, and Fourth was expecting him to continue to go to the basket. And Fourth kind of peeled out towards the three-point line, and a little zig when they were going to zag.
Alex Ruba's 7'9". You thought he would have had that one. Remember Alex Ruba riding my school bus and sitting up the front and having some wonderful conversations with him. Outstanding young man. Very conversational, good dude.
His mother also works at Iowa State University. Carrie Ruba does a wonderful job at her job. And then Matt Ruba, his father, is he just kind of bounces from town to town playing pool. I think he plays pool.
If we were being true, we'd put him in the Gilbert Little League Coaches Hall of Fame because that guy's coached about 26 teams, and they've all had winning records, won a couple of Central Iowa. Very good baseball guy is Matt Ruba. If he was listening, he would understand I don't know if he's listening or he's probably here somewhere in this gym, would be my guess. Since he probably can't figure out how to run the internet, I'm guessing he just decided to come in. Ruba's going to get a steal now, Alex is. Going to give it to Klatt, a little behind Klatt.
A couple turnovers for Gilbert.
Floater there by Stein Smith, no good. He's going to fight for the rebound. It's going to go off of Easton Johnson's hands, I think, out of bounds.
Easton wasn't happy about it, but he didn't disagree.
Yeah.
I think he...
It's one of those deals where you got about 6 hands in there fighting for a ball, and it's got to go off somebody's hand. I believe it did go off Easton's hand. And Junkie's got the ball now. Excuse me, that's Defoe. I get him and Junkie mixed up, 25 and 23. Stein Smith will now run the point. He's going to do a little pick and roll, 2-man game. He's going to just pull it up in traffic. That's pretty tough to stop right there. He puts it in the
ADM's been very salty and now has a 7-point lead over the Tigers.
Ruba's going to get a shoot to 3 now. No good. Alex Ruba's had a very eventful couple trips up and down the floor. He's ended up on the floor of that one. Lob underneath. Johnson defended. It's going to go out of bounds.
It's going to be Gilbert's basketball. They just kind of ended up in a pile there. It's kind of a free-for-all, kind of a loose ball there for grabs.
A lot of contact and a lot of guys on the floor, but I don't think anybody really fouled anybody on that.
That's right.
So they will get the ball back. So Tanner Henningsen will take the inbounds from Johnson. He's going to have Terry, Veazey, and Burke Hansen.
Gilbert kind of back to their starting 5 right now. The same 5 that started for Gilbert, and they're in a 7-point deficit now.
Easton Johnson sets a pick for Veazey. Veazey's going to pull up the 16-footer, no good. If you've been picked by Easton Johnson, you would know it. It would not be something you would forget. 28-21, ADM kind of extended that lead now at 7.
Yep.
I'm going to call traveling on Smith as he shuffled the old pivot foot before he took off.
I think he kind of knew that as well. So really on both sides, a few turnovers here in a row. It's kind of been slow to get started here, or a little herky-jerky here for a little while for both teams. 28-21.
Barring a crazy finish this half, ADM should have a halftime lead. Now Johnson's got it, gives it to Terry. Terry goes up with the left hand. He's going to get fouled.
There's a lot of traffic in there, and Terry was trying to find a window to get the ball up through, and he did, but was fouled in the meanwhile. So a couple free throw attempts for Terry. It'd be important for the Tigers to get these two in near the end of the half.
That one is on Stein Smith, which if you're going to pick somebody for ADM to.
That's his second foul.
Jurgens is going to head back out. He came in and gave it a go here. He had kind of a bum ankle. He's headed to the concession stand now to get a Rolo, a bag of ice. Terry makes the second free throw. Tigers have cut the lead to 5 now. 43 seconds to play in the first half. This is Defoe now.
Kind of a switching zone the Tigers are playing, and they're doing a really good job.
Johnson
of
defending
the three-point line.
That's Logan Krantz, 33. I don't think we've called his name yet. Johnson's chasing him around. Good defense here by the Tigers. They've done a good job defending. That's going to be up, and the foul.
They're going to get VC for that one.
Krantz, a pretty short, good look, about 3 feet from the basket, was fouled from behind. And I believe it was VC that picked up his first personal foul. Free throw up and good by Logan Krantz. So we'll see if PJ Tronis has a Mike Frisk-esque halftime speech to inspire his squad to come back in the second half.
I'm just going to tell you this. BJ inspires me to be better every day. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't. And then you mix in a little bit of Jerry Hales.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, it's just like a Tony Robbins situation in there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Couldn't agree more. Don't forget about James Pollard. He's in the vicinity. Burke Hansen's going to go all the way to the basket, put it up and good. That's how the half will end, with Burke Hansen putting it up off the glass.
Yeah, so it's 25-30. The Tigers trail by 5. Tigers kind of started strong and then maybe struggled a little bit, but made a little flurry to come back there, get a couple free throws and a bucket at the end to trail only by 5. And all in all, just not that bad of a half by the Gilbert Tigers. Just a pretty strong half by ADM, Trent. I thought they played really well.
They did, and pretty physical team. I don't think this is a team that is Tigers. Gilbert Tigers, very physical team, but I don't see ADM backing down from that at all. They're going to try to avenge the earlier season loss at the hands of the Gilbert Tigers in their Raccoon River Conference opener.
Does every town in central Iowa, and I already know the answer to this, the answer is no, okay, to the question I'm about to ask.
Okay, I'll say no.
Have Debbie Gray and Steve Hastad out taking pictures for everybody at every game? Just two people just do that for other folks?
Doesn't seem likely that would be the case, because those are two of the harder working, and I would say two of the nicest people, but if you've met Steve Hastad, I don't know that nice would be the word. Colorful, ornery,
kind-hearted.
Kind-hearted, yes,
kind-hearted.
Very sweetheart.
Wonderful.
He's an exceptional Little League umpire. He's worked a couple of seasons. He hasn't worked in the last couple of years. He had some health issues he worked through, but he said he'd try it again. I'm trying to get him back out on the field.
Umpired a lot of games. Gage played a lot. I had Gage on my team a number of years, and certainly enjoyed coaching Gage. He was nothing if not enjoyable.
Jaden was the same way. I think one of my funniest 7th grade baseball coaching stories involves Jaden. I tell you this one. I think maybe I've shared it.
I don't know.
We got time to kill. We might as well tell. So he's rounding third, and I'm waving him home. Pretty clearly he's going to be safe at home. And as he rounds third, his baseball cleat flies off, and that kid flies 15 feet in the air. And I'm like, and so he's 10 feet from home, puts on the brakes, goes back, picks up his shoe, puts his shoe back on, and then I'm thinking he's coming back to third. Nope, he's going to turn around and try to score. Well, now, here comes the throw. He's going to be out by 20 feet.
The situation has changed.
It's changed. The other team, I believe, the Nevada Bear Cubs, if I'm not mistaken.
And I would point out, for Steve Hastad, it'd be 15 minutes later if he was putting his shoe on. But assuming,
So he's going to be out by 20 feet, and, of course, I've got my hat off, and I'm kind of, oh, my goodness. And then the ball goes right between the catcher's legs to the backstop. And then Jaden decides to come back to third at that point, which I said, no, score. It was one of those where you just had to kind of laugh. And I think even the Nevada coach looked at me and goes, just the way you drew it up there, right, Skip? So we had a little conference. I didn't think it was anything I probably covered in any of the practices. If your shoe comes off in the middle of a play, just go ahead and finish running the bases without your shoe on, and then come back and get your shoe once the play's over. I didn't cover it in
That's really on you.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's coaching deficit there.
You know, we worked a lot on the pitcher covering first, the spring training stuff. We did that, but we never covered it. What happens if your shoe comes off?
How to bunt. Worked on that, but what do you do if your shoe comes off? Never part of not in the team manual. Gilbert trails by 5 to ADM, a team they beat earlier this year, is your faithful reporter, Trent Becker.
We do have an ADM, Caden Major. I believe there's some majors on the squad there. He says, good first half Black. I would agree with that, Caden. That's some good analysis. Probably better than any analysis we've had in this game.
Well, the bar's not been set really high, Trent. So,
Caden, I think you're welcome to listen to our broadcast. I think ADM's broadcast. I see somebody with a headset straight across the gym from us. Probably way more adept at doing their job. So it's kind of nice that we have the huddle camera here in the gym. So no matter what, whether we do this or not, the games will always be streamed. They just won't have commentary. And there's a lot of people that probably wish that was the case tonight. So
there's probably people who are watching it and have just turned the volume down.
Yeah, which would kind of be back to the huddle camera situation. So we appreciate that was kind of a nice deal they did with the limited. They actually have one. I don't know if you knew this, over in the middle school gym now. They put one of those huddle cameras in. So all the games tonight over there would be streamed.
But that means, so just to be clear, anything I do in the middle school gym could be recorded. Okay.
It could be.
Just make a note to myself on that. Okay.
But Tim Pizzetti's worked really hard at getting that stuff in, so the people that are watching at home, like Coach Nordine, Jay Branner, Jeff Bowman, those guys could see what we're doing. And on nights where we can't get a broadcast crew together, you can still watch your Tigers play.
Well, and now even for the sub-varsity games where attendance is
middle school games
discouraged to some extent to be able to see young people do
any
this
games
stuff.
that go in that gym this year will be streamed.
I'm just going to say I'm going to get out there because I don't do the politics stuff, Trent. Right? I don't do the politics stuff, but you would be better off watching whatever's happening in the Gilbert Middle School gymnasium than watching the news most nights. Okay, so
you're trying to decide between CNN or Gilbert Middle School gym. I would go with Gilbert Middle School gym any day of the week. You'll come away a lot more encouraged and happier in a happier place. So I was going to look, and I can't remember who the Tigers play Friday night. They travel somewhere. They're on the road.
It's the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a tough matchup.
Seems like something we could probably look up on the internet.
Well, Tigers versus Tigers tonight. We were talking about Tigers earlier. We were mentioning that neither of us have actually seen the Tiger King, so we don't know anything about that. So we can't say anything about that. What do we got, Trent, coming up Friday night?
Let me scroll down here. Friday night, the Tigers will travel to North Polk, take on the Comets. I noticed the Comets, North Polk, traditionally, girls team is really, really good at basketball. Kind of a down year for them this year. Not at the top of the conference where they find it. That's going to be another mega night down there. It looks like you got like all 6 teams playing. Yeah, you got varsity, junior varsity, and 9th grade all playing that night. Friday night, this Thursday night, we got some wrestling. Got a varsity triangular with multiple schools. Ballard, Boone, and Ogden are here on Thursday night.
Trent, I don't want to pull out a bunch of geometry on you, but I don't think you'd call it a triangular if there were
four teams there. Call it a quadrangular.
I don't know. I don't want to be Mr. Know-It-All or anything, but I don't think that's the way triangles work.
Well, it says triangular right here. I was just reading what it said. I wasn't calling it a triangular. I was just reading what it said.
Trent, I don't know why you have to be so defensive about your 4-sided triangle, man.
Boys, the 8th grade game at home. I'll be officiating that one against the ADM.
Nice.
Tigers are in town for that's a triple header. So you can, if you really want to watch something fun, come for the third game of T-Beck's refereeing. The third game will be.
Let's explore this refereeing space in 8th grade a little bit, okay? So what would an 8th grade coach have to do for you to slap a T on him? Because I'm guessing it's quite a bit. You're not very quick with the trigger on the tee in the 8th grade game.
I haven't really had any coaches say anything to me yet. Knock on wood. It's been really the sportsmanship has been exceptionally good in the games. I kind of joke around. It's really been phenomenal. Like our coaches never heard anything but positive comments. I'm not saying that somebody didn't disagree with the call and say something. That's not being unsportsmanlike. But nobody has behaved in a way that would embarrass them or our school, and including all the other. Bondurant had brought their reserve 9th grade and JV up last night. Both their coaches, very, very good at coaching their kids, and our coaches were too. Ty Baker was coaching our JV kids, and Jake Hansen. Burke Hansen's father helps out with the freshman squad. And
I'm not sure. I think Jake is just. It's just, don't say this to the people on the broadcast or anything, but I think Jake's just eye candy. I think he looks really good over there.
He was laughing. They finally broke the press for the first time all night, and I called a foul on the other team and stopped their press break. It was a foul. I don't think he was disputing the foul. He just wishes I would have not called that foul. Hey, we finally broke the press, and you blow your whistle. Well, he grabbed it. It was one of the 4 shirt grabs of the. Mm-hmm. Hey, we talked about Ava Hawthorne going to
Creighton University. Drake University.
Drake. You got Emma Bull. James Pollard, manager of the boys basketball team here. He's going to University of Northern Iowa. Is going to be a student manager for Ben Jacobson's UNI Panther basketball squad. That's a big deal. They don't just can't just show up and say I'll do it. Like,
Ben Jacobson would be fortunate to do any better. I can tell you that.
So good for James Pollard, one of my favorite kids. I've been his bus driver and we do the clubs at the middle school. We used to. Don't really, with the pandemic, we haven't been doing them. But he was in my club one year.
He's I know James pretty well, and I know some of his life dreams. One was to be manager for UNI, and another one that's kind of on ice right now is to beat me in golf. And it's just not going to happen really in the short term.
What's James's strongest point of James's golf game? Is it the clubhouse?
Persistence.
Refreshments or
persistence.
Yeah,
I would say.
I didn't know if it was like putting or chipping balls out of the sand trap.
Not hitting the balls in the sand trap would be a strength.
Yeah.
And he's better at golfing than his father. Mm-hmm. So the Tigers come out of the halftime as slightly more lathered up than you are listening to Trent and I kill time here. But Gilbert trails by 5, and they are going to need to kind of change the tide here a little bit. Burke Hansen had a strong half offensively, scoring 15 points. The rest of the Tigers have been a little hit and miss. Terry had a really nice first half as well. But the Tigers are probably going to need to score more than 25 points in this half to pull out a win here. So the offense is going to have to get a little more fluid and a little more productive, and I'm sure Coach Taronis has a plan for that.
A couple of our good friends, Stephen Lawrence and Evan Johnson, have chimed in on it'd lead me to believe they're watching the broadcast tonight. Evan Johnson's asking us about having a podcast. I don't even know what that is. Do you know?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know about the podcast.
Podcast?
That's the thing you listen to.
Where's that at? Like, do you have to go somewhere to do that?
You can do it anywhere, Trent.
Library?
You and I could do it.
Well, Evan, we'll get back to you on that. There's a chance we could do a podcast. Evan, what should we call the podcast if we had one? Maybe Evan could get involved in a small way in our
hot pods.
Two guys trying to stay relevant. ADM will inbounds the ball to start the second half. They'll be going from right on your right.
The big story, Trent, sorry to interrupt you, is that Ethan Jorgens is not on the court. So I don't know if he's suffered an injury, but I'll tell you what, he is a really good basketball player, and his absence would be a key storyline here.
Was kind of the magician for that offense, the distributor and ball handler. Now Tate Stein-Smith has it knocked away and off of Easton Johnson's bulking right arm.
And when
I don't know how to describe his right arm other than it's been
intimidating.
From stone.
I would call it intimidating is the word I would use. When Juergens went out in the first half, Stein-Smith kind of stepped up his game a little bit to fill in the gap. And now Anderson, the left-hander.
Terry blocked his first shot, and then the ball kind of just laid flat on the floor, and Tigers couldn't get it, and Anderson will get a putback. Henningsen now looking to get it down to Terry on the post. They do now. He's going to turn around and face the basket. They're going to give it to Henningsen. Fires up a three, no good. Ball's on the floor. It's going to be ping-ponged around. Pinball, that's what I meant to say. Pinball, looked like a pinball machine. Hey, I want to thank Troy Stout, set all this up today. I didn't even do it, Tim, and appreciate Troy Stout's work on the broadcast squad. Here comes Juergens back in the gym now. Shot up no good, tipped around. Burke Hansen will clear it. Juergens clearly favoring one of his ankles. I can't really tell.
Looks like he's got a little medical attention, or could be Could be
Henningsen,
his father for emotional attention.
slew of bodies on the floor as Johnson misses.
Tigers still trail by 7. And yet to kind of get in a rhythm. Obviously haven't scored yet in the second half. Yet to get in a rhythm offensively. It's Ryan Junkie who has taken Jurgensen's spot. Jurgen's spot, rather.
Stein Smith knocks it away, and he's going to get whistled for a foul. And again, that was of the inexpensive variety. He was in the backcourt in a position where Stein Smith probably wasn't even going to get the steal.
And with 6:08 to go in the third quarter, Stein Smith, really a key player for this team, picks up his third foul.
Aaron Major. Ah, so we have Caden. Caden, how are you related to the head coach? I assume with that same last name. Appreciate you listening tonight. Well, actually, it's not Stephen Lawrence listening. It's Scott Lawrence. He's logged in as his son. Forgot to log out.
Oh, well, this creates some great opportunities for you, Scott, to look through the internet search history of Stephen and see what things he's been up to.
Evan Johnson just called Easton, said he has tiny arms. And Evan, here's what I can tell you.
I can speak to the relative size of the arms of Evan Johnson
compared to Easton
and Easton Johnson, and I think out of respect for Evan, we should just not discuss this.
Henningsen running the point now. He's going to go right. They're going to call him for the travel. Kind of got his body in a weird spot there, and his pivot foot lifted up off the ground. You can't do that. Halas is bringing the ball up now. Garton will pass it off to Stein Smith. Burke Hansen's on him now. Hand it back to Halas. Having trouble with the names tonight. I'm usually better than that. Good pass over to Garton, up and out. It was down and out. Down and in, and then pop back out. No good. Tigers clear the rebound, and Easton Johnson working on the block.
Easton just threw it off the back of the coconut of Ryan Junkie there.
That was a fastball. Terry has his shot blocked. Stein Smith will clear it.
Junkie's head's still spinning a little bit.
Check him for a concussion.
Getting beamed in the back of the head. He's
trying to pass it outside to one of his teammates and hit. Who did he hit in the back of the head?
Junkie.
Junkie.
Mm-hmm. I hope we're pronouncing his name right.
Smith's going to get called. Stein Smith's going to get called for the travel. I think he thought he maintained his pivot foot. I thought it kind of looked like a travel from where I was sitting, Tim. I'd say that was a reasonable call.
Yeah, I'm far from an expert in that space. I call it progressive pivoting, and the officials often called it traveling.
One pivot's good. Two pivots has got to be better. Burke Hansen, top of the key now, down in the corner to Veazey. He'll fire a three. In and out, no good. Terry with the rebound. He's going to put it back up. Fouled and one. I kind of, in our pregame, kind of talked about how active he is around the basket. Justin Terry had himself a really good night tonight.
Justin's been very, very good and in the right place a lot of the time. And he's one of those kids that there's a few of them that seem to, when the shot goes up, they have a sense of where the ball is going to come off the rim, and they end up in that place a lot. And that's the way I describe what I've seen out of Justin Terry thus far tonight.
He converts the old-fashioned three-point play. Almost has a steal there. Now under the basket, nobody picked up Junkie, and he's going to put it up off the glass. Uncontested bank shot.
Tigers trail by 6.
Tigers quick to fire it around the perimeter. Terry will now put it on the floor. Lucky he didn't get called for traveling. Veazey has it slip out of his fingers. It's going to go left and right with the left hand. No good.
Nice move by Veazey, but couldn't quite finish. Got there and couldn't get it in.
Up in traffic is Samuel Halas. He's going to get fouled. Go to the line and shoot 2.
Tigers still trail by 6, and I'm watching Ethan Jurgens again leave the gym, presumably for medical attention, or maybe he's got some homework he's got to get done. But him not playing is really a big part of the story here. But the ADM is compensated well for his absence.
They're up by 6. Terry's going to go out. Zaz will come in for him. I don't know what the ethnic origin of the name Zaz is, but I really like it. I like saying Zaz.
Yeah, but you do find yourself, I'm sure, as a Zaz, you find yourself introducing yourself last at the end of the seating chart and that kind of thing. There's probably something psychological in there.
Well, if he's half as funny as his younger brother Chris is in my study hall, he's a funny kid. Great sense of humor. Zaz is going to set a pick, a big beefy boy, and gives it to Hansen now, and Hansen will bank in the three.
I believe Burke is 4 or 5 on three-pointers. That's his 18th point tonight. Gilbert only has 31. So Burke has really carried the load offensively. Probably a larger share of the load than Coach Toronis would like him to have to, but he has answered that call very well tonight. Tigers trail only by 4 now. And we're watching Owen Koutman get ready to check in for the first time, Trent.
Good defense on this possession by the Tigers. I'm really having a tough time getting in. Anderson will kick it down the corner to Junkie.
Very good defensive possession for Gilbert.
Garton's got it. Back to Junkie.
And the fans in the bench applauding the defensive effort by Gilbert.
They ran about a minute or so off the clock here.
Yeah, it has to reset the whole show here.
Steinsmith working on Zaz now. Zaz with a good job of defending, but Steinsmith was magical as he hung in the air, flips it up off the glass, it goes in, and Zaz is going to get whistled for the foul.
Pretty good defense by Zaz there. Tate Steinsmith just made a really wonderful shot. Some substitutions. Owen Koutman with a significantly more attractive head of hair than his father, Andrew.
Oh, Andrew parts it different too. Where's his part on the right? I think Owen. Easton Johnson wrestled that ball away for the rebound after the missed free throw. Tigers trail by 6.
2:45 to go here, and the Tigers trail by 6.
Getting somebody else involved in the offense here. We'll see if Henningsen can stroke it, and he does.
That might be just the answer that the Tigers needed, and just what you were asking for, Trent.
Just his first three. I believe he's the Tigers' second leading scorer in his first basket of the game.
Certainly been unusual for him to go that long without scoring, so maybe that's the answer, is Tanner to take some of the load off of Burke here.
Owen Koutman with his first action tonight. Steinsmith will drive in. They're going to whistle him for travel before. I didn't really see what happened. I kind of looked at what was going on in the basket. But
I think it was a fair call. I think he got a little, but the ball kind of did the little hop after he had established both his pivot feet.
Alex Ruba will check in. So Koutman now with Zaz, Ruba, Easton Johnson, and Burke Hansen on the floor for the Tigers.
Koutman just a sophomore.
Turnover gives the ball back to ADM. Get it underneath the basket now in traffic. Well defended there by Zaz. I think he got a hand on that, but the putback is good by, I didn't see who made that. Carter Jensen said 45. I don't have a 45 on my list. But
this might be an illegal player. If we could call over to Boone. See. Yeah, sorry, we don't know who that is.
Check with Roger Barr and see if.
Uniform that's not listed in our program. Mr. X, we'll call him. Mr. X with the bucket.
Kind of like pro wrestlers when they have the, Mr. Wrestling. That's the wrestler's name because he has a mask on. See, the athletic trainer for the Tigers has went and got a bag of ice. Hopefully it's just a sprained ankle, and Juergens will be not on the sideline too long. Ethan Juergens, a senior.
He is making his way over to the ADM side, and we certainly hope the best for that kid. What a good player, and certainly hope he gets to enjoy the rest of this season. And he is a senior, different than the NCAA world in which I work. You will not extend your high school eligibility.
Because I've been asking about that a lot and never really get any answers.
Easton Johnson get an extra year to pitch for us.
I don't think that whoever the head coach is at Creighton would be in favor of that situation. Same 5 on the floor as we start the fourth, or after the timeout. Excuse me, that was a timeout. I thought it was the end of the quarter.
Nope.
Been a long day, Tim.
Tigers trail by 5, and it's their ball. Koutman's going to bring it up against a little bit of pressure from Lucas Curry, unrelated to Steph Curry, as far as we know. That turns into a scrum, and we got a foul going to be called on this side. I'm guessing it's going to be on Koutman, but I'm not sure. It's kind of a scrum.
No, they're going to call that on Curry.
And my guess is, I think, the same guess that Aaron Mager was making, and doesn't seem completely thrilled with the call. It was a bit of a scrum, and you know, I'm not one to criticize officials, so I don't know what to say about that, except
I kind of got it screened off, but
and there Curry makes another play, knocking it away. So I think it's the first time we've seen much of Curry, and he's making a mark early in his appearance here.
Curry working on the sophomore Koutman. Saw's inbound long pass to Hansen is going to be stolen away by the ADM Tigers. Curry's got it now on the baseline.
And Toronis is going to get Henningsen back in to help break that press. That's an area where Tanner's skill set is really useful to Gilbert, his length and his ball handling skills.
We're going to call foul on ADM under the basket, some sort of elbow shove. Very animated description by the referee. Doesn't look like something you'd get away with. So the Tigers do send Henningsen back in. So Burke Hansen, Ethan Veazey's back in now with Zaz and Justin Terry. Terry and Hansen in the background to break the press. They get it to Zaz in the middle of the floor, and that breaks the press, and he'll give it back to Henningsen. Chris Zaz plays, I think I've called him the wrong name a couple times. Veazey drives in, gets his shot blocked. Terry fights for the loose ball, but it's going to be controlled by ADM.
Tigers still trail by 5. That's kind of been where we've been stuck for most of the half. I think it was 5 at half, and it remains 5. Kind of a stalemate of a quarter, and VC's going to get called for a foul there. And Gilbert, frankly, didn't need a stalemate here. Gilbert needed to make up some ground here, so I feel like the offense has not been as fluid as I've seen out of most of the Gilbert games that I've seen thus far.
Pass inbounds. ADM almost traveled there. Now in the corner, shot's going to be blocked by Zaz.
Zaz has been very active on defense for the last few minutes. Big difference maker.
Interior feed now to
He'll get a 3-second call pretty soon.
Shot up no good, bounced around. Terry gets the loose ball.
And again, Terry with a nose for where that ball was going to come off.
Hansen will drive in and give it to Zaz. We're going to call Sam Halas underneath the basket on the push on Burke Hansen.
Fair call in the 15th foul on ADM. Tigers just with 3 team fouls.
Inbounds to Henningsen. He's going to shoot the 3 on the inbounds. Misses.
Henningsen had made his last one and missed that one.
Player X pulls down the rebound. Terry knocked that into Veazey's hand. So Veazey gets the steal, but credit Terry for that, and that's how the half's going to end. And kind of an ugly fashion. That was kind of an ugly third quarter for the Tigers.
Third quarter is a bit of a grind indeed, and the Tigers kind of end the quarter as they started the quarter. That is 3 points behind. Or sorry, 5 points behind.
Yep.
And kind of in need of an offensive spark. Burke went into the third quarter with 15 points and got just 1 bucket, but Henningsen got a 3-pointer as well. And the Tigers have of course gotten very stout rebounding effort from Easton Johnson as expected, and a nice night from Justin Terry. Ethan Vesey has been tough as always, but the offensive flow just hasn't been there, and Tigers remain 5 points behind.
Yep, credit pretty salty ADM team. They've really gotten after it, missing their point guard and kind of their spark plug. Went out with an ankle injury. That was Ethan Juergens. I think he probably had played into the second quarter, but not much after that.
Tate Smith leads ADM with just 10 points. I would have guessed more, honestly, because he's played quite well and been quite a difference maker. Jungi, the non-starter, I think, in the game, but has filled most of the minutes created by the absence of Juergens, has contributed 8 points and played very well as well.
Tate Stein Smith playing with 3 fouls. Nobody on the Tigers with more than 2, I believe. Nobody on the floor right now has more than 2. Veazey's got 2. Nobody else has. Burke Hansen has 0. Neither does Henningsen or Easton Johnson. No fouls. Henningsen will kick it in the corner to Hansen. He'll fire the 3. Off the iron, no good. Johnson contests the rebound, but it goes to ADM, and Stein Smith will.
Stein Smith a little close to traveling. I think you might have heard our fans commenting about that, but it seems like he got rid of it okay.
Ball's on the floor and stolen away by Tanner Henningsen.
Nice steal by Tanner there to reach in to another player's assignment and make a steal.
Veazey's going to put the ball on the floor, try to get it to Terry. It's going to get tipped out of bounds and go stay the Tigers' way. ADM will send in a couple subs. Anderson was pretty active early. We haven't seen him on the floor in a while.
Coach Taronis called play number 5. I don't know if you know what that is, but get ready for number 5.
It's right between 4 and 6.
If you're expecting number 4, you're going to be disappointed because it's number 5. And Henningsen rails in the 3.
Yeah, we've seen that inbounds play a couple times where Henningsen just catches it and shoots it, makes the 3, cuts the lead down to 2.
In a game that has been kind of low scoring, 3-pointers can really change the tide of the game, and the Tigers go from being down 5 to just 2.
Long 3 up and good. Ryan Junkie tosses it in from well behind the arc. Extends the lead back to 5 now.
Junkie now leads ADM with 11 points.
Hansen down in the corner to Henningsen. Henningsen puts it on the floor, goes to the rack. They're going to call a foul before the shot, I believe.
Yeah, it seems fair. Henningsen was trying to get himself towards the block and was kind of getting wrestled by a couple of guys. So that's going to be the 16th foul, though. Means the Tigers are shooting 1-1 on the next.
Fort's going to check in for Veazey. Trenton Forth a little chill in the air. He's got the long sleeves on. Henningsen will catch the inbounds and shoot again. We've seen that play a couple of times and misses that one. 6.5 minutes to play in the game. Tigers trail by 5 to the ADM Tigers.
Been down 5 most of the second half. Kind of crawled to within 2 a couple times, but playing from behind most of the half here.
Anderson
playing from behind all the half.
Hit it in the shin bones. The ball's on the ground. Good job keeping it in bounds there by Halas. Stein Smith will reset the ADM offense.
Kind of a zone where they're expected to match up and defend guys in their zone, not just stand around. It's been a pretty effective defense. I think the Tiger defense has been good enough.
Shot by Halas misses, rebounded by Henningsen, and he'll bring it up. Now Force got it. Goes behind the back. Forth goes to the rack. In traffic, up off the glass. Nice play by Trenton Forth.
Wonderful move by Trenton. In a lot of traffic, Trent.
He did.
.520 down. The Tigers, Gilbert Tigers, trail by 3 after a nice basket by Trenton Forth.
Anderson drives in and kind of gangly like puts it up in and it pops in, goes in. Comes Justin Terry on the right side working on Stein Smith. Now gets it to Easton Johnson. He's going to try to hand it back to Terry and stolen away by Stein Smith. Kind of a high risk pass by Johnson is stolen away. Underneath the basket now, shot up and good. I don't know how he got that up to go down. Grant Garten puts it in.
Wow.
Good
he
shot.
was defended very well, and now all of a sudden Tigers trail by 7.
Henningsen has it stolen away, and here comes ADM on the press. Looking at a nice pass back in where he spotted Ryan Junkie going to the rim and gets it in. BJ Taronis will call a timeout. Little run there by ADM. I think that's probably their biggest lead of the night, 9 points.
Yeah, indeed it is, Trent, and BJ wanted a little time to kind of stem the tide here. We're just 4.5 minutes to go, and Gilbert finds themselves facing the biggest deficit that they've had thus far, 48-39. Burke has 18 points. Henningsen has 6. And Justin Terry has 7. The Tigers are going to have to score at a pace that's more than they have to get themselves back in this. They find themselves down 9, only having tallied 39 points to this point. So,
kind of look at the good side of this. They will be shooting 1-1 on the next team foul on ADM. Nobody's in foul trouble.
Yeah, Tigers only 3 team fouls. They can certainly pick up their aggression on defense here without putting themselves at risk of putting the other team on the line, putting ADM on the line. Spencer Klatt back in along with Forth. Forth and Klatt have played together most of the time that they've been out there tonight. And they kind of add more guards into the lineup, the two of them do. So it's Terry and Johnson in the middle, and the 3 guards are Klatt and Burke Hansen and Trenton Forth. Forth will bring the ball up.
Forth, the left-hander, dribbles left, gets it stolen away at the top of the key, fights for it and gets it back. Now he's giving it to Easton Johnson. Fired around the ring. Here comes Burke Hansen. He's going to drive into the lane, pull up the free throw line. No good.
That's a shot that Burke made in the first half frequently. Just missed that one. Nice pull-up. Got himself wide open from 12 feet. Didn't make it go in. Tigers still trail by 9 inside of 4 minutes now.
Anderson with it at the elbow, gets it back to Stein Smith.
Stein Smith trying to put his back to Trenton Forth, but Trenton got around him.
Garton's got it now. Junkie fighting off the stinging fastball he took to the back of the head a little while ago.
Tigers still trail by 9, though. And now ADM comfortable to take a lot of time on this possession.
Stein Smith drives up in traffic. He's going to get fouled. He'll go to the free throw line.
Very successful possession for ADM there to burn 50 seconds off the clock and end on the free throw line.
We'll get Easton Johnson for his first foul.
Tigers set to put Henningsen and Zaz back in after the first free throw.
It's now 10. First double-digit lead of the night for ADM. Zaz, Henningsen, Johnson, Hansen, and Spencer Klatt on the floor for the Tigers. Misses the second free throw. Zaz will run it down. He's kind of trapped on the baseline. Throws it right to Stein Smith. Good job by Tate Stein Smith, a KG veteran. Stepped in front of that Zaz pass and picks it off. ADM will get another crack at it here. Johnson really playing defense away from the basket. He's working on Stein Smith really hard.
Kind of what Gilbert has to do. They have to force the story here. You know, they need possessions. We're inside of 3 minutes now, and Gilbert trails by 10. They need possessions, and ADM is pretty good at taking care of the ball. Now Gilbert trails by 12.
Bank shot by Garton is good. Henningsen stumbles and falls. Will turn it back over to the ADM. Going to go up by Dylan Anderson in traffic, puts it in. I thought Dylan Anderson was going to stuff that one
I
through
thought
the
it
rim.
was too. Same thing I thought, Trent.
I was thinking about it. Henningsen will shoot the three. Might have been blocked. Well, it was either blocked or Henningsen's hand was hit because the ball. I've never seen Tanner Henningsen miss that bad on a three. So it's 14-point lead, 2 minutes to go in the game. Tigers are going to need a miracle here. ADM really content here now. They're just going to kick it around the perimeter, not in a big hurry to get a shot unless they get one like they did last time. So Veazey's going to get the steal. Burke Hansen will have the run out. He's going to get the layup off the glass.
I think that resembles nightmares I had as a basketball player, having Burke Hansen and Ethan Veazey trying to steal the ball from me. I think I would just give them the ball. I'd say, why don't we just...
I don't want any problems here.
Just get to the shortcut. Let's take a shortcut to where this is going to end.
Ruba getting ready to check back in. Ooh, they missed it. Travel there. Garton traveled, but he's going to get an assist. He gives it to Ryan Junkie, puts it in off the glass. I can't remember Junkie's name for the life of me.
Junkie's got 15 tonight, played really well. Wonderful move by VC there, but still won't go in. Tigers now trail by 14 with 1:20 to go. Not looking very hopeful for the Tigers tonight. Trent?
Trying to get another steal, almost did. Anderson's going to catch it. Did a really good job of keeping his feet from traveling, and That's going to be enough for Aaron Mager to want to just call a timeout, probably kind of go over their strategy here, how to milk off the last minute, 7 seconds of the clock. Any breaking news in the
Iowa State women's team won tonight versus
Baylor
Oklahoma.
Again? What?
Nope.
We just played Baylor about 4 or 5 straight times. They seem to have
Kim
their number.
Mulkey did not want to play again. She had some other business to attend to. But I just see the headline. Late Ashley Jones heroics take number 24 ISU past Oklahoma.
Nice.
The late Ashley Jones heroics are not really unusual or unexpected at all.
She's pretty adept at playing basketball.
But the Gilbert girls won tonight over ADM, and the Gilbert boys face a heroic challenge to try to pull this one out. We're not, Dandy Don's not singing yet, but this will be something to remember if the guys come back and win this game. This will be one you tell the kids about.
Got a lot of ground to make up here. Down 14, right at the minute mark now left in the game. Tigers are going to need a turnover or start fouling. They've chosen to just try to work hard and get a turnover here.
Going to put Stein Smith on the line.
Stein Smith kind of bucked his head in, may have caught Easton Johnson in the nose.
Yeah, Easton Johnson doesn't use his nose when he's pitching, so he'll be just fine.
Called out Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, the fight doctor, to check over VZ. Johnson will check out now. Terry's going to come in for him. So Ruba, Henningsen, VZ, Burke Hansen, and Justin Terry on the floor for
It's actually one of those times where not fouling enough kind of hurts you indirectly because you're not sending them to the line. Fouls, another foul, still. Another foul there, and there's not going to be a free throw opportunity here. Going to send Trenton Forth into fouls. There's one thing Ryan Forth knows, it's how to foul people, and he's taught Trenton a lot of things. Sometimes I've just been sitting at Ryan's house talking to him. He'll just hack me across the arm. Tigers trying to double team the ball and force the issue here, but ADM has done very well at keeping the ball moving. And now we're at 30 seconds, and the Tigers still trail by 14.
Choosing not to foul here. VZ's going to
get a foul called. Wow, almost got that, though.
But they're going to call it out of bounds. They're actually going to whistle VZ for the foul. Burke Hansen will check out with 20 points on the scoreboard. They just needed a little bit from a few others. He was kind of the Tigers' sole weapon on offense tonight.
Yeah, just kind of a night where the Tiger offense never really kind of seemed to find its rhythm and never seemed very smooth or fluid. And those things happen. There's just a bunch of kids playing basketball. You know, you never know how it's going to go.
Alex Ruba gets the rebound. Give it to Forth. Owen Koutman back in the game. Terry's got it on the block. He's going to spin around, gets his shot pushed back in his face by Anderson. 15 seconds to go. Tigers are going to call off the Dogs, and this is how this one's going to end. 55-41. Thanks for listening in tonight. If you're from Adele, DeSoto, Minburn, Gilbert, Ames, wherever, thanks for listening to our broadcast tonight. Tim, thanks for coming out of retirement for one night.
Hey, it was fun. Thanks for putting up with me, man.
55-41. We'll see you next time.